Sadly, this is a forsaken generation. Hear this well, we're not going away. Eyes are opening to the truth. We grow stronger in number as a united force every day. Babies are dying, parents left crying, told that SIDS or coincidence disorder are to blame, parents forced to live with the pain and shame. The once bright smiling faces full of wonder turned vacant stares, families shattered while they also endured the public glares. You're wiping out future generations for your own selfish gain as we form this revolution for liberation and change. We will keep speaking louder and louder. We will not be silenced until there's a shift in power. So stand up, speak out, be brave, be the voice of the voiceless. Too many forsaken lay in their graves. Welcome to Forsaken Generation.
All right, everybody. Welcome to Forsaken Generation. Hopefully you guys can hear me. My phone's a little crazy. It just fell off the chair.
Well, good morning, Lynette.
Well, good morning. Oh, my goodness. Just sitting here in my chair looking out the window at all these cows on the hill.
Been a crazy couple of weeks, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely been a crazy couple of weeks. I'm quite exhausted, and today it's already been a very long morning. Last night, me and the girls stayed up doing makeup and playing hide and go seek, running through the house in the dark, which is always fun when you have barely any furniture and lots of closets. And so it was a good time. We were playing with Jazzy, having fun for her birthday. Her birthday is today. So happy birthday to my sweet Jazzy Pooh, because she is 3 years old today.
Happy birthday, Jim.
Yeah, she's starting the day off rough, so is poor Lala, and she's been not feeling good all morning. So it's already been quite a crazy day here since about 6 o'clock this morning, but I think that's probably just about every day of life.
Ain't that the truth? It never ends, does it?
Oh, no, definitely not.
Lynette, I was thinking about what we could talk to people about and what, really is necessary out there right now. And I was thinking about the last couple of shows that we did, and I was thinking about how we had to focus for a little bit on how people were being negative and people were being, kind of ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, we spend a lot of energy. I don't mean just you and me. I mean just in general, all of us, right? The inclusive, all-encompassing we spend a lot of time looking at the negative. You know what I mean? Like looking at and talking about and because it's like we think that when things are going good, well, there's nothing to talk about because things are good. It's all good. And we only talk about the things that are going bad. And I've just been thinking about, everything that I've been doing in general, and I've thought, well, you know what? I don't have time for the negative anymore. I just don't. I mean, it's not like I'm going to sit here and be one of those, like, glasses half full, guys, and there's a silver lining to everything, guys. Like, I'm not going to do some, Dear Abby stuff. But what I've realized is that, we, especially with everything that was happening on Facebook recently, I don't have time for putting my energy in dealing with those people. If those people don't want to get off this train of negativity and trying to pull somebody else down, I don't have time for them anymore. And so what I'm saying is, maybe instead of spending time trying to take somebody else down, instead of spending time focusing on the negative, right, maybe we should figure out how we can put positive energies together and positive people together to do positive things. If you see the negativity happening on Facebook, just walk past it because you got better things to do.
Yep, I agree. That's pretty much where I'm at too. And sometimes if I'm feeling froggy, I may get a Bible verse or a thought by somebody else or something of that nature that means something to me that may hopefully inspire them to, change the way they're looking at something, or maybe just see a different view,
Yeah, I mean, it really just comes down to the fact that, what's the most valuable thing that we have, and that's time. Time is the most valuable thing we have, and if most people complain that they don't have enough time to do all the things that they want to be able to do. Even the people that stir up drama, even those people, they talk about not having enough time to do the things that they want to do. I've heard it before. I've met some of these people. You know what I mean? Think about if you're complaining about not having enough time to do the things that you want to do, then why did you sit there and say, okay, I'm going to spend this time tearing somebody else down. I'm going to spend the thing that I don't have on doing something that's completely unproductive.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. We really don't have time to waste on that. And I'm so excited because my copy of J.B. Handley's book, How to End the Autism Epidemic, is, taking forever. I ordered it weeks and weeks ago through Prime, and for some reason it's saying, end of October to early November. So Lou Drago, my good friend and buddy, has sent me a copy that's supposed to be here today. So I'm super excited. Thank you, Lou. I love you, my friend. And I want to... Lily said she loves you too. I want to give a quick shout out to my buddy Randy McIntyre. Also, you are such a godsend to me, woman. Just amazing warriors in the movement. There are a lot of people out there who do understand what unity is, and if it wasn't for them in this movement, we wouldn't be doing as good as we are. So I greatly appreciate all the people out there, who do understand that and who do have each other's backs, and we see it for what it is, and we try to come together. And it doesn't matter what somebody looks like or if we agree with their every point of view, I'm sure there are many things that, Anu and I don't agree on, I would guess. I'm sure there are many things that probably just about me and everybody out there don't agree on, but that's really not what it's about. It's about the one thing, that the major thing, medical health freedom, that we do agree on, and just taking that one all the way to the finish line and, being able to aspire to do other things in our lives other than just have to do this. I'm happy at the fact that at least I have so much passion in this, and I'm lucky enough that, God's blessed me enough in life that I almost feel like I'm good at being an activist. I don't know how that happened, but it feels like my calling. So it's very interesting to me to, see how it goes, and if we actually turn these tides, what's next in life? Do you just pick up the next fight, or do you just take a break and enjoy breathing for a while? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to figure out what you want. Because the thing is, nobody else is going to tell you what you want. Nobody's going to tell you what you can and can't do. You have to figure it out for yourself. You really do. I want to spend more time trying to help people figure out what they can do, want to do, and help them figure out a way to figure that out. You know what I mean? Because the thing is that I got lucky figuring out what I wanted to do. And I say that because I say I got lucky, but I guess I went through the steps. I got lucky in the terms of I got lucky for being young enough and having the skill set to figure out what I wanted to do. I've changed kind of small directions of what I wanted to do, kind of veered a little bit away from the path and stuff like that along the way. Sometimes veered quite a bit far away from it, but the essential goal, the overwhelming idea has always been the same. And the thing is that, if we can figure out a way for people to figure out what they can do, give them the skill set to figure out, I can do this, then I think everybody will be a little bit happier because they'll be able to find a way to make what they do well actually add back to the community and do something for it. I think there's a lot of people that are like, oh, well, so-and-so is doing this, I'm going to try doing that. And that's fine if you're trying to figure things out. Doing something positive is better than not doing anything at all, of course.
Right.
But trying to emulate what other people do is just not the way to do it.
Be creative.
And
it's a lot more fun.
Yeah, and here's the thing, too, is that, like, I've realized pretty recently that, you know, in the past, I've tried to do certain things where I felt like that was what was necessary and that's what needed to be done. And, you know, I look back on a couple of things that I've done and I'm like, you know what, that's not me. You know, it might have been good or whatever, but it wasn't me. And it just didn't feel like it really did what it should be doing. And so, you know, I've kind of been, you know, revamping and kind of turning around and changing and trying to figure out or try to strip away the things that I think I should be doing, because what I've realized is that, like, I'm good at something and that's what I should be doing. And so I'm kind of like on a new tip right now on trying to figure out how I can.
It sounds like you're falling in love with your passion.
I am, because I've realized that passion, whatever that passion is, you know, like, it's hard for me to describe exactly what that passion is, because my passion is creating. My passion is using my creations to help people, trying to make a point of something that I'm doing. And ultimately, what my passion is trying to help people realize themselves, find themselves. You know what I mean? I love helping people.
Yeah. And it's amazing because people think, well, I don't have a talent I could use, or I don't have a skill. If you can make jewelry, you can make like we made, you know, the anti-vaccine do no shot bracelets. And, you know, I mean, you could do anything. You can do, you know, things for helping out other people. If you see somebody who is, you know, running a coalition or an organization or, you know, nonprofit or whatever, and they're working hard, ask them what you can do to be able to help make, you know, their things run more smoothly. If you're afraid to be more in, you know, in a leading position, then take a following kind of position where you're helping out somebody else who's in a leading position. I mean, there's so many different things you can do to help people out, even down to, like I remember when Elizabeth Avon was trying to first get Med Research Science up, and she was really petitioning for a lot of people to send her as much science and real studies and data as possible. And, you know, she took all of that and collaborated it into an amazing website where you can find just about anything you can imagine about vaccines. And, you know, that was something that, you know, she's got where she's stuck in bed because of her vaccine injury as an adult. And she does all of that from there. I buy 500 to 1,000 cards from her at a time and give them out because I really appreciate seeing people who, I mean, they're going through it themselves and they're still taking the time to use whatever talent they have to, you know, help, you know, bring change faster and help us get, you know, closer to the ultimate goal.
There's so many things you can do. There's so many things you can do, and I just, you know, I keep thinking about the fact that, like, there's so many different ways to make something happen. Then kind of sticking yourself in this idea that there's only a few things that people are doing and everybody has to do those things, it kind of makes it like, it kind of makes it disappointing. It kind of makes it disappointing that people are just like, oh, well, there's only so much I can do, you know. There's tons of things that can be done. And you know what? There's like, the expression is kind of harsh, but like there's a 1,000 different ways to skin a cat. You know what I mean? Like everybody thinks the only thing that people like, the only thing they see are the things that
is an odd expression.
Like, it's a really odd expression. I've never understood where that expression came from.
Well, did we used to just skin cats back in the day when crap hit the fan? Well, everything's gone haywire. Somebody get the cat.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a weird thing. Like, how did that become an expression? Like, who was sitting around going, "Hey, Lynette, what are you doing this afternoon? Nothing. Want to go skin some cats?" Like,
let's do it, Buford.
If anybody knows what the historical relevance of that expression is, please let us know. Because
yes.
Now that I really think about it, it really doesn't make any sense. Like,
yes, I want to know. Enlighten us.
Because like, there's two things happening there. Obviously, there was a lot of cat skinning going on, right? At some point in time before that expression came to be. And then the second thing is, someone was saying, "Hey, you know what? We should figure out different ways to do it." And then somebody realized, "Oh my God, there's so many ways to do this." Like, what?
Y'all just thought those rabbit coats were made of rabbit. And my custom sealed baby leather boots. No. Oh my God. It's going to be all right, everybody. We're okay. Oh. And life's so crazy, you got to laugh, you guys. I have tears rolling down my face. You really do have to laugh. I mean, you really do. I was thinking just a minute ago about today for me 3 years ago when Jazzy was born, I mean, that was like we call it my second chance at life day because, I mean, I really did almost die that day. It was a horrible experience. You're not supposed to go to have a baby and have such a horrible experience. It's supposed to be this beautiful thing. And it was the scariest moment of my life, I mean, almost my death. And, I mean, it's a trip. I remember, I didn't think I was going to come back out of that surgery. And then when I did, and I had 4 IVs going, giving me blood, it was like, oh my goodness, what is going on? And, that's really scary. I mean, I know, it's a very interesting thing to see. And I remember hearing Del Bigtree say on the high wire that this is becoming the norm. This is becoming something that's happening all the time. And I was given that Tdap while 26 weeks pregnant. And if you look at the insert for the Tdap that I received, it says that it can cause your body to have problems clotting your blood. And I already have a lot of heart problems, and I used to take medication, and I'm actually an easy bleeder anyway. And so when, I had her, number one, they don't have patience. They don't care that there's some natural process to this. And I had no idea. It could take up to 2 hours for the whole afterbirth process to happen. And they don't give women that kind of opportunity to go through this naturally. It's like, oh, the baby's out here. We've got to rip this out of you. And, they tore my uterus wide open. I mean, that's just, this kind of stuff shouldn't be happening. And, that's the scary thing. Next thing you know, you're dying on a table, and everybody's taking your stuff. It's like, we're going to have to give you a hysterectomy. And it's like, what? I mean, you can't even do anything about it. I was so, I'd already passed out several times, thrown up. I remember, like, the last time I came to, that's what they were telling me. And somebody was putting some kind of shot in the muscle in my shoulder, like at the top of your shoulder. It was a very, very painful shot. It was very interesting that they'd stabbed me there, but I don't know what that was about. But yeah, I mean, it was just this surreal experience. And when I actually did wake up, I was afraid to ever sleep. Like, there was weeks of me literally cuckoo because I was so scared if I fell asleep I was not going to wake up. And, it really messes you up to go through something like that. And I'm telling you, had I known better, had I just had her at home or, there's just so many different things. I wonder, what the experience would have been. I'm thankful that, she was okay and she made it, and she did really well at that point. I hate that the vaccines did to her what they've done, but we are every day trying to turn that ship around and, just stay positive. And as I watch all the hard work that we do, and I watch her progress, and I watch her sitting there singing and counting and clapping and, getting excited, and, it makes me feel really good because as parents, it's really easy to lose sight of hope sometimes, and you think that, man, it's a scary ride. And I do see a lot of adults with autism that require 24/7 care, same as she does now. And, all I can say is she's my gift. And she is an angel. She is the sweetest thing, on the planet that I've ever seen. And if she wants to be my mom for the rest of her life, I'm good with that.
Well, it's her day to day.
Mhm. I'm telling you, it's a very interesting world.
It's crazy the things that we do, thinking that that's what we're supposed to do. I mean, I guess it makes sense, right? That we do so many things because we think we have to do them. It makes sense that we do that because if we didn't, I guess if we were born and we just just kind of did whatever without any kind of instruction from our parents or the people around us, there'd be a lot more mistakes made. You know what I mean? Like, evolutionarily speaking, like, I guess it makes sense that we evolved to the point where we listen to the people that are already bigger than us, that have been through it, and the society around us to kind of build and do what we do. Like, it makes sense in certain aspects, right? But at the same time, like, I think it's gotten to the point where we think we translate that and we kind of transfer that idea to the people that have no say over what you should be doing. And somehow, okay, that person said it, it's what I'm supposed to do, I'm going to do it now. And then we do crazy things like listen to doctors about everything. About everything. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't listen to them about some things, but, like, we listen to them about everything. I know some people that, like, if you say, well, have you questioned this or questioned that, their answers are, when it comes to, like, doctors and medical stuff, their answer is literally they're doctors. I mean, they learn how to do this stuff. Like,
as if that means they're infallible and all-knowing.
Yeah. I mean, that's not a sufficient answer.
Yeah. When you go to medical school, you don't check your human card at the door and become some super all-knowing, like, perfect thing. Like, that's just not the way it works, as much as we'd like to believe it. And I've been there, too. I believed it, too, I mean, I really did. I thought, wow, I mean, they wouldn't tell you something if it wasn't good for you. I mean, I really believed that in the past. And I really thought that even, like, with cancer treatments and things, I always thought that, chemo and things like that were the only way, and you either were lucky or you weren't. And, I mean, you just realize that there's this whole other world of health out there. And the crazy part is, what really makes more sense to you? Using the plants that, God or whoever you believe put them on the earth. I'll say to everybody out there who's listening who may be different than me. But, I mean, believing in what's out there, what's already naturally there in your environment, and using that, and also not creating waste from other things, bringing in a lot of the other, things like that. If you think about it, all the pharmaceutical medications that are consumed every year, think about all the plastic bottles, think about all the, there's a lot of things involved in that industry that are also just as bad for the environment as the medication is for us. So, there's a lot of different things going on with that. It's just kind of crazy to me, but you don't think about it, and you really do. You get caught up in this thing where you're just raised where, I mean, every other dang commercial is a medication, and, I mean, you see these people with herpes running on the beach like it's the happiest moment of their life, like, yay, we've got herpes, this is great, take this medication, and you may get heartburn or bleeding or, well, you may have a stroke or a heart attack, or you may have this or this, but at least our herpes is in check and we can run on the beach. It's like, it's so confusing. It's like, what in the world is going on? And how do people not see through that? Like, once you're awake to all the truth kind of stuff that you're kind of, you're opening your eyes and you're kind of going, what is this? This is kind of suspect. Once you're kind of already going through that, then you start seeing those commercials in a different light. And I'll tell you one thing, they sure do try to put their pharmaceutical commercials on people like us. Like, I don't know about your YouTube channel, Anu, but mine being for the radio show and my business for the, for what I do for the movement, my videos will have tons of vaccine, the HPV vaccine, meningitis, like all these kind of vaccine ads as the ad on YouTube right before my video telling you how bad this crap is or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, Jesus Christ.
They're really good about it. I mean, they understand how people work, right? Like, think about this is that people respond to emotional things. I mean, as much, I say this all the time, and I don't know if it's clicking with people, but I say this all the time. It's the foundational, theory or philosophy that every kind of marketing works on. And when I say marketing, I mean, I've said this before. Marketing seems to be the dirty M word in our community, but what you need to understand is that marketing is the way that marketing is just a fancy word for how you get your point across to somebody else to get them to agree with whatever you're doing. That's all it is. PSAs do it, charity organizations do it, corporations do it, Big Pharma does it. They all do the same thing, and what they're selling you is your lifestyle. That's all they're really doing. That's all they're doing. They're saying you can have this lifestyle if you buy our stuff. That's really all they're doing. They're making an emotional connection with you, and then they're saying buy our product or donate to this charity or donate to that charity. You can have this. You can feel this way. You can feel good about yourself if you donate to this charity. You can run on the beach with herpes if you buy our drugs. You can live free and not worry about getting infected by the measles, the mumps, whatever it is, if you inject yourself with this stupid shit that we've created. That's all they're doing, is they're making you feel like you can lead an awesome lifestyle if you just do what they are selling you. So don't get it twisted.
Yep.
Everybody does.
I'm so ready to get out there and attack. Not attack y'all. I mean that in a whole different way. Y'all know I live in a way that I try to lead with love here, but I mean this in a way of like I'll usually go and I hit all the flu shot signs at the pharmacies with my our stickers and the radio show things. But last year, the Rite Aid in Anniston, Alabama, I was out there doing something one day, and the Rite Aid said, get your flu shot, because with us, it's personal. And so we went in there and wanted to know. Yes, and I couldn't handle this. I couldn't handle it. Yes.
Wait,
and so,
What?
Yeah, get your flu shot, because with us, it's personal. So I went in and I started to ask them what that means, because I was talking to them and I was like, so how personal is it? Like after somebody gets an injury and they end up with Guillain-Barré syndrome, or they end up paralyzed, or they end up, hell, with just the flu in general, that's a horrible case because their immune system's knocked down from your flu shot. Or, I kept going on, and I was like, so is that what you mean by with you it's personal? Are you going to help take care of them? Are you guys going to hook them up with something? Y'all got some discount card for the medication they're going to need later? Or it is just on, and this woman's just standing there staring at me, and her face just drops more and more. And I was like, asking them questions about the insert and stuff. Nobody knew anything. They didn't know it was in it. I told her I had latex allergies at one point and asked if that was in it. They said no. Opened to page 2. Latex was in there. I mean, it was just, nobody even knew what was going on. Or it was like, it's so funny. The GP told me one day when I approach people, it's like a fire hydrant going off. Because you just get so much. I'm full of it. I can't help it. It's like I sit here and I read so much and I absorb so much. And it's like if I come across somebody with a head so full of things that are so incorrect, it's so hard for me to not want to just, here's what I've got for you, Oh, my goodness.
What is that even supposed to, what is that supposed to mean? Like, it's personal. What do you mean it's personal?
I know.
I have half the mind to walk in there and be like, I'm thinking about getting the flu shot, but first I want to talk about some things that I'm dealing with my ex, or I want to talk to you about,
prop your feet up on the counter.
About, how I feel right now. Like, I really want to get the flu shot, but first, I really want to talk about my feelings.
Yes, we need to get personal up in here.
I really want to get personal here.
Oh, my God. I'd be crying.
That is the most ridiculous thing.
I know, and I couldn't stop laughing. And then it was horrible because, I mean, it's not funny, but it is. And then I go into the Kroger right up the street from there, I think it was, or Publix or something, and I'm shopping, and I went live during this extravaganza because I was so frustrated. It was like they had 10% off your entire grocery bill. 10% off your entire grocery, no matter how much groceries you bought, if you got the flu shot that day, and the flu shot was free. And I was just like, oh, man. So I'm going live, and I was loud as I could be, talking about all the propaganda, talking about stuff like that. And I actually saw a bunch of older women kind of giving me the look like they were paying attention. Some people gave me dirty looks, but not most of them, actually. And so I went over, and I stuck the Vaccine Liberation Army sticker with the baby on it on the little thing. And then I, put the radio show Post-it note on there and stuff like that. And over exactly like directly on the pharmacy wall where it's like where you walk up and you go to fill your prescription. And it's one of those fancy Publix. It's the only grocery store in all of this area that actually has a lot of organic food. And so, I mean, it's in the good area. And so, it was frustrating because I was like, I really hoped people would pay attention. If at Walmart you have all those checkout lines that'll tell you on this little drop-down thing to get your flu shot, I'll usually put something on those. All the things on the front cone things out front, like, I don't know. I try my hardest to spread awareness, whether people laugh at it or they actually take it home and look into it more. I don't know, but we really have all got to be out there doing that kind of stuff this time of year. And also be careful while you're doing it. Make sure you're taking your elderberry, whether you're getting it from us or you're getting it from somebody else, because it is that time of year. People are going back to school. They are getting vaccinated, unfortunately, and they are shedding these vaccines. And while I know all of the people who are, still believing in vaccines think that somehow we're the ones spreading these things, it's really hard to spread something you don't have. And so, and also to all our first-time listeners out there, I want to apologize for the way the show started. Usually I would introduce the show and myself and my sidekick here, Mr. Anu, but I ended up dropping my cell phone, unplugging the charger from the wall, and then tripping over a chair. So I did not introduce us on the show this morning. But you are listening to Forsaken Generation, in case you were curious, and I am Lynette Marie Barron, and this is my buddy Anu, and I enjoy so much having him on the show with me. We haven't had as much fire lately because we've both been so busy with our lives. I hate to tell y'all, we do have real lives. And so things happen. I know he's, like he said, he's been working on getting all his stuff back up and running. You were really running smooth there for a while, and your following was picking up steadily, and then you had the car wreck happen, and I think God was telling you to take a break and slow down a little bit maybe. And I think you've kind of recollected yourself in a different way, and I'm excited to see what's coming next from you, because I am never short of amazed. And you're always doing something awesome. I'm always interested in hearing it and seeing it, and it's, I think it's because you're very genuine, and you can see your heart in what you're doing. And, it's like we've talked about in the past, you don't have to be here. You don't have to be a part of this. You could have done your, what you needed to do with the VAX team and when you were working for them, if it was just working for them. I'm putting air quotes, everybody. But you didn't do that. Like, you really did join the movement. You put your heart into it. And, for anybody out there, I've heard a few people saying stuff about the whole, if you don't have kids in it stuff, like, seriously, whether you have kids in it or not, I'm happy for every person who wants to have medical freedom, whether it be from chemo, whether it be from CPS trying to force those kind of things on your own children, or even like psychotropic medications. I know they try to force a lot of that on people. Whatever you're trying to gain your medical freedom from, I'm happy to stand next to you and unite with you. I hope you can be a person who is of love and light, because that's the only way we're going to get anywhere. And keep all the garbage in the background. I have actually deleted people for the first time in years anew, other than, those fake profiles that you find through your thing when you're trying to clean it out after you hit the limit every now and then. I finally have deleted people that I just thought, you know what, as Anu says, you're rabble-rousers, it's time to go. And, I actually did, and I'm glad I did. I feel like I've gotten some weight off me, and it's nice to not have to see negativity all the time.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Lynette. Like, I've been thinking about going through Actually, you know what? I am going to do it. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to start going through my friends list and stuff like that and just, really pay attention to kind of what's happening on my feed and look at who's saying what on their feed, what they're spending time doing on their feed, you know what I mean, and what's showing up. And because I'll tell you this, I have a few, I've already kind of recognized a few individuals that I have friended on my Facebook and whatnot, and most of everything that they post is super negative, or it's trying to take somebody down, or it's trying to make people think that somebody else is controlled opposition. By the way, and that's the other thing. In this whole thing, like talking about me kind of rebranding myself and relaunching my new stuff, I'm going to say this right now. I'm done, you guys. I'm done trying to present myself in some sort of way that I think people want. Like I'm fucking done.
Yes,
like, really
amen.
It's bullshit.
It's about to get fun.
Like, here's the thing. Like,
you made my heart race when you said that. I'm like, ooh, what's coming?
Yeah, here's the thing. I am who I am. The people that know me well. I mean, Lynette, you know me well. Like, my friends at the High Wire, they know me well. And there's people that know me well, and the people that know me see me in a different light than what I have been since I joined the Vax tour, right? And it's not to say that I was disingenuous or anything like that, but I did honestly, I have for a long time felt like I had to present myself in a way that was more choir boyish, you know what I'm saying? And here's the thing. I swear, I'm aggressive when I talk about the things that I'm passionate about. I'm so fucking done with trying to act like shit is gonna be okay and shit is gonna be fine and that I'm somehow this person that perfectly presents himself. Like, no, I'm done with this shit. Like, I got to tell you, if you're one of those people that gets online and constantly talks about controlled opposition, if I see you on my Facebook from now on, I am deleting your ass because I don't have time for your shit. I want to spend time connecting myself with people that are doing awesome shit that is going to make everybody else feel awesome. People are only going to get better at things if those of us who have the power to do things actually get together with each other and try to make positive effects happen. I tweeted the other day that, I'm trying to live by this new kind of idea. I don't know if you guys have heard of Gary Vaynerchuk, but you guys should check out Gary Vaynerchuk, okay? On Twitter, on YouTube and whatnot. The guy is one of the most amazing marketing geniuses and entrepreneurs that has ever existed. But he has a way of explaining things that I think is awesome. And he said something that I quoted in my tweet. He said, if you want a special life, you have to do special things. And what I get from that is, you're right. Like, I need to do more than just trying to do really simple things, right? I want special things to happen, so I got to do special things. But that also means that if you want a special life and you want special things to happen, then you got to stop doing the bullshit that isn't special. And bullshit like throwing around accusations of controlled opposition, constantly talking about negative ways to do things. And you know what? Here's the other thing, too. The other thing that I've noticed is a lot of the people that are rabble-rousers and doing shit like that, getting on Facebook and saying shit like that, aren't doing anything. What are you doing is my question. Tell me what you're doing. Because getting on Facebook, getting on social media, and typing something aggressive, against somebody, do you really think that that's helping? So all I'm trying to say is I'm done. I'm done with that bullshit. And if you're doing that stuff, I'm like cutting it off, because I got to make room for the people that are actually going to connect, that I can work with to help people. That's what we're trying to do here, right, Lynette?
Yep, that's definitely what I'm trying to do. And I keep telling people that if you're wanting to be a part of the bigger picture, if you're wanting to be, I see some people out there shuffling their feet. There's a lot of people out there hustling right now, and I'm proud of them. Denise Marie, Lara de la Vega, I hope I said your name right, girl. It's always hard for me with names. Hillary Simpson. I mean, man, there's some people out there that, I mean, I didn't even know who they were. And I knew who Hillary was for a little while now, but like Denise and those girls, I didn't know who they were until that rally, and they just came out of nowhere busting it out, and they haven't slowed down since. I mean, it's just always interesting to me to see, who a lot of the people are who choose to put so much of their time into this, and and what they're willing to sacrifice out of whatever their day or whatever it may be, in order to try to be of some sort of help. I mean, there's a lot of people who are coming to ASIP. It's the first day of it's actually exactly a month from today, October 24th and 25th. If anybody would like to come, you just have to go to CDC's website to register first, and then make sure you do that, and then you can join us there. But it's a big deal, and it's interesting to me to see. I mean, we've got a lot of people who are coming from California, New Hampshire, I think North Carolina. I mean, there are people coming from all over the country this time, and that is like my dream. I've been going to several meetings, and, you kind of start off by yourself, then you see about 5 people, then you see 10, then you see 20, and we've got a lot of people who are saying they're coming. We've got a lot of shout-outs going on out there, people who are trying to get together to try to, come as groups and different things like that. So I'm super excited to see how this all happens, how it goes down, and I still am hoping and praying and crossing my fingers you are able to come anew and be a part of that with us, because it is definitely an interesting experience. And then, of course, afterwards we all usually end up doing something fun together just to let our hair down a little bit, and that's, I think, the best part, because it's rejuvenating to the batteries to get around people of like mind and actually get to sit down and have a face-to-face conversation with somebody who actually gets it.
Yeah, I really, I'm really not sure if I can get to ASIP this time. As you guys know, guys, like, I don't know if a lot of people know, because I've actually said this a couple times now. People have called. And they asked me if I'm working with, if I'm doing any work with the Highwire. Like, guys, like, that's my main thing. I do that. That's what I do Monday through Friday. Actually, as much as much as Monday through Friday is a thing in this community or in the world anymore. Like, my primary thing is I work with the Highwire. I'm the technical director there, and here's the thing, like, being the technical director of a show like that, there's a lot of things that you have to do physically for the studio, technologically speaking. And as much as I'd like to be at ASIP, there's a lot of times where the team has to go out and do things that I have to the studio and work on things. Like when the team's gone, I get to work on maintenance for the studio. Like things like that. So there's a possibility I'm not going to be at ASIP. There's a good possibility I'm not going to be at ASIP this time. But if you can go, man, it's like Lynette said, like it's one of those things where just being there and having that presence and then speaking like Lynette did, I mean, it makes a difference, because what happens is that stuff is on record. The other people that are in that room that are not thinking the same thing that you are, if they get to see you face to face and they get to see the representation of what's actually happening, then it's going to make a difference. Because what's one of the things that the side of this argument that's saying that no, vaccines should be mandated and stuff like that. One of the things that they say, one of the things that they believe, is that the injuries are so rare that it doesn't matter. And of course they're going to think it's rare if they never see us.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to show up, and we got to make that thing happen. So if you can get to ASIP, guys, go ahead and please do that, because I'd love to go, but I don't know if I can this time. And I'm going to try to make sure that I can go the next time. But, I want to go back to the idea of getting together with people to do positive things, right? You mentioned Denise and Lara de la Vega, right? That is the prime example. Like, right there, I want to talk about, like, how perfect of an example that is. And how we should all be thinking about what we're doing. Not just, like, for this movement, like, just in general. right? Find somebody else that's doing some awesome shit and say, hey, let's collaborate and do awesome shit together. Like, just because I'll tell you, like, there's someone that I'm working with right now on relaunching my stuff, and like him and I work perfectly together. He's super motivated. He's super all about it, and we've got these amazing ideas of what we're gonna do, and we sit there and we think of cool and awesome shit to do, so that we can further what we're trying to do. And nowhere in that is a discussion of how to bring somebody else down, stop somebody else from what they're doing. None of that. Because guess what? We don't have time for that shit. And if you have time for that, you're a loser. I'm sorry, man. Like, I know people don't like being called names, but if your whole thing is I'm gonna shit on somebody else, like, you're a loser, man. Like, you're a bully. You're not getting anything done. Or even if you are getting anything done, you're wasting time, stirring up shit with other people. Like, get over yourself. And you know what?
And there's a lot of people who are...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, there's a lot of people who it really saddens me to see these people who really do have children in this fight and have, a lot, at stake, or have been fighting because of a huge, this huge reason, and for a family member or whatever. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying. And they are a part of the drama, and that is the parts that blow my mind. When I see people who really have such high stakes in this, behaving in that manner, that is when I really, my mind feels blown, because I'm thinking, really and truly, I would think of all people, you wouldn't be stirring this pot. You wouldn't be causing these problems. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah, it really comes down to this simple, and it's probably going to be, I'm probably going to say this again, but, pretty much what I want to say about it is, if you're talking that controlled opposition shit, if you're spending time trying to spread negativity, like, that's what you choose to do, is trying to bring someone else down. That's the thing that you're spending time doing. I'm done. I don't have time for your stuff. I'm moving on. Like, you're either going to be deleted or I don't care anymore, because guess what? Like, you're in the losing part of the game. You really are. And nobody that actually matters is listening to you. And here's the other thing. Nobody that you think you're getting to, because you think you're going to make a difference with that stuff, is actually giving a shit, because they're looking at you like you're crazy. That's really what it is. Nobody has time for that. There's people who are doing actual things, So, like, and you know what? People might think, like, this is aggressive. This is whatever. Like, I'll tell you this, man. I've spent so long just trying to be like, oh, no, everything's going to be fine, like, if we just blah, like, no, just, you know what? I don't have time for that, like, I think about the fact that, like, I probably should have died in that car accident, and I think about the fact that, like, I've lived most of my life, and the decisions that I've made specifically in my life have gotten me to the point where I am right now, and I think about the fact that, like, when I was making those decisions, I made those decisions without being like, oh, well, oh no, what am I going to, oh no. Like, no, it's just not good enough. I know people don't really like the kind of, like, aggressive kind of, way of approaching things or whatever. Maybe this message isn't for you. But I will say this, get off your ass, get shit done, and stop trying to bring people down. You will notice that you will get a lot more done, you will be a lot more productive, and a lot more good things will happen to not only the people that you want them to happen to, but yourself, if you spend your time actually being genuinely generous with your time and the love and the care and the kindness and the actual productivity. You will have so much more come your way. I have my dream job now, because I spent my time in my life, in my career, actually saying no and putting up the middle finger to people who were telling me that I was never going to succeed at the things that I did. Nobody knows that. most of the people in this community have no clue. I spent most of the young part of my life, you know, the people that know me in this community now think like, oh my God, Anu with the tech and all the wow, oh my God, look at all the stuff that he does. But I will tell you this, what you probably wouldn't think is that I spent most of my young years being told by pretty much everybody around me, except for my parents and my brother, pretty much everybody around me, that I was going to fail at this thing that I wanted to do.
Wow. Well,
that,
see, that
everybody
makes me...
was like, no, you're never going to make it doing this stuff. You're never going to be able to make a career out of it. Look at me now.
Yeah, really. I mean, seriously, though. I mean, I feel the same way. I mean, I grew up with, you know, the same kind of thing happening to me on a different level, just, you know, being told you're never going to be anything. You'll end up just like your mom. We'll end up raising your kids. You're going to be nothing but a loser. And, you know, it's like, I don't believe any of this crap. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm going to be somebody whether you want me to be somebody or not. Like, you know, I mean, everybody's somebody. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I don't understand people who spend their time trying to knock somebody down, especially somebody who's already down. It just really blows my mind. Like, the whole thing is to pick each other up and to support each other, not knock each other down further.
You know what's funny, Lynette, is most of the people that I know that have become very successful at the things they do, and by let's be perfectly clear here, when I say successful, I don't just mean financially wealthy or whatever, right? I'm saying successful in the things they do. They're doing the things that they want to do, the life that they want to have. Every single person I know that is doing what they want to be doing and living the life that they want to be living and really happy and it's just, you know, just kicking ass, right? Every single one of those people tell me the exact same thing, that they spent a lot of their time, right, being bombarded by people that were trying to take them down. You know, haters, right? It's
I've had plenty of them.
Every single person that's successful has said that. Oh, there were tons of people when I was coming up that were just saying blah blah blah. You're never gonna make it. You're just a loser. Blah blah blah. So here's my thing about this. Either these people that are haters, right, are just ridiculous and they just want to hate on people. Difference, or they know that if they hate on people, that those people will succeed. Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of interesting that all the people that have been hated on so much succeed so much. Because it's what I'm trying to say is, if you think that hating on someone is going to bring them down, think twice, because look at how many successful people there are that have been hated on, you know? It's obviously not working. If I had actually listened to all the people that had been mean to me and said horrible things about me and told me that I was never going to succeed, I wouldn't be, you know, like if I had listened to them, I wouldn't be where I am now. So guess what? We're not even listening. We're hearing you. We hear you. But you're kind of an annoying sound. You're like the fly buzzing around inside your house when you're trying to cook. Like, you're annoying. And nobody gives a shit. Stop doing that. Or, you know what? Those of us who aren't doing it, let's just start ignoring these people completely. You know, and here's the thing. People are like, well, they're part of our community, blah, 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 blah. But are you adding anything to it?
That's right.
You know? I mean, it's like saying just because they're family, you have to be kind to them. No, you don't. What if they're horrible people? Like, if I was in a family, if my uncle or something, my uncles are awesome, by the way, but if my uncle or something like that, right, was a total and utter asshole, I wouldn't talk to that person just because they're family. Like, no, that's bullshit. So why are we trying to be okay with people? Right? Why are we even giving them the time of day if they're just being assholes? We don't have time for that.
Yep.
We've got much bigger things to do, you guys. This is much more important than listening to somebody bitch about the fact that they got slighted somehow by some person somewhere. Now they're taking a personal vendetta out on Facebook to slight that person. Like, we don't have time for that. Lynette is an awesome human being. She's always spreading positivity. She's doing so much stuff. She gives love and care and kindness and generosity. She's just giving it out, you guys, everywhere she goes, and everybody loves her. Okay?
Well,
and people might be
I'm
attacking
glad.
her, but here's the thing. She's actually getting shit done. What are you doing?
Yep, I'm doing the best I can to get shit done anyway. I know that it's hard out here, and I mean it's sad because I do try to spread as much of that as I can, and I'm not one person. I'm not somebody who's even above being attacked. You know, I've had people try to. I mean, people have even. I mean, they've made things up craftily to try to smear my name. But the thing is, who you are speaks for itself. What you do, how you behave, all of those kind of things. You know, and I mean, that's the thing. My character speaks for itself. I mean, I've said in the past, you know, when Larry Cook almost did my show, one person reached out to him and said, I was a bad person. And so Larry automatically, without even asking me or saying a word to me, blocked me from stop mandatory vaccination. He deleted me as a friend. He was just like, bam, gone. And I was like, what just happened? This dude's supposed to be on my show this week. Like, how in the world did he just, you know, take off on me? And sorry if you guys hear me getting in my car. Rollin doesn't feel good, so I'm trying to go get her some ginger ale or something. So I'm literally got her running the dashboard while I run to the store while I'm literally on the air.
Yeah, you're going to probably hear me trying to get into a car and stuff like that, too, because I got to get my way to the studio.
We got to do what we got to do, and that's why I told her. I was like, well, I guess I'll run to the store while I'm doing this because it's already in progress. It's like if I was doing a replay or something, no big deal. But once it's on, and you can't really do anything about that. So it's kind of stressful. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with my poor teenage girl. Y'all pray for her. I'm trying to figure it all out. It's really crazy. I've never seen anything like this because I don't know. You know, I think I've told you before. I don't know if it's adrenal or what it is, but this poor kid, she's like literally every day from when she wakes up, especially if she wakes up early, she's throwing up and she can't stop. And she's been throwing up today since about 7 o'clock in the morning. She's still throwing up now. And of course, she's not pregnant, guys. She's not sexually active. She never even leaves in sight. But I know people say things, you know, but definitely not. And but she's been like this for years, and it's just steadily gotten worse over time. And, man, I mean, it's horrible today. She's just, she can't gain her composure. She can't stop being sick. And, I mean, it's down, you know, you get down to the foam and the bowel. I mean, like I was when I was pregnant, I would throw up like that, so you had nothing left to throw up. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know if any of y'all have any advice or have been through anything like that or know somebody who has, but I have never seen anything like it. I thought maybe adrenal or something. I know Sherry had said something about adrenal issues in the past, and I don't know if maybe that could be something like that. But, yeah, it's pretty much just got my brain all in panic mode for her because I hate to see her feeling sick. And, you know, I mean, today is poor Jazzy Pooh's birthday, too, so poor Lalan's sick, and Jazzy's just sitting there looking at her like, are you okay, buddy?
That sucks. That's horrible. I mean,
yeah.
It's
horrible for her. She's such a sweet kid. She's such a good person. She's such a sweet kid. And then every day is the same. Every day she's waking up sick. And it's like, you know, I mean, you can only take so much of that. And, you know, if it's not every day, it's every couple of days. It really, you know, it'll spread itself out or something. But, I mean, she eats decently. You know, she drinks a lot of water, you know, a lot of, you know, juice, things like that. Like she does try to, you know, take care of herself decently. So I really don't understand what is causing her the issue, but she's definitely got something going on.
And she definitely gets enough sleep.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes
like,
it depends.
For me, like I have horrible acid reflux. I have horrible like nausea in the morning, and I'm just not right for a few hours when I just don't get enough sleep. And that's it's like it's interesting because and here's the other thing too is that people think, oh well, I slept for this much time. Did you get good sleep? Because there's a difference between good sleep and bad. Like there's been times where I've been sleeping for 10 hours, but it's like I'm not proper like sleep. You know what I mean? Like there's something else going on, and I didn't get good sleep. And it happened to me for years. It still happens sometimes when I don't get enough sleep. It just comes back if I don't get enough sleep. But for years I couldn't figure it out because I'd be sleeping 8-10 hours, and I'd still feel that way. So like maybe there's something going on with her sleep. Who knows?
Yeah, it might be because I know, it's like last night, Jazzy was playing with me, and then she came and got her and put her in bed with her. I said, girl, you need to go sleep without her on top of you. Let her lay with me. She's fine in here because I know Lauren, she wants to cuddle with her. But then
Your parents were jerks and you're traumatized.
She started commercial
But that
story.
doesn't mean you
Well,
should use your lousy childhood as an excuse to be a lousy adult. Stop being such a whiner and get past your past already.
This is kind of awesome.
Get over it and get started. The book by Melanie Hope that will get you out of your self-imposed failure and on the road to greatness.
Thank you for tuning in to Freedomizer Radio, where we have a 24/7 chat room where you can come and share what's going on in the world with people of like mind. Anything and everything against the New World Order. Dial 347-324-3704 to catch our live shows. Beginning at 9 in the morning Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday till midnight, and 9 to 9 on Saturday and Sunday. Take us to the beach. Take us to the park. Take us on a walk with the dog. Only on Freedomizer Radio.
Y'all, I don't know if she's done playing commercial or not. She can't hear me, but she's trying to run the dashboard. So I'm trying to get something to make her stomach feel better. I am actually in the Dollar Tree right now, up the street from my house, running the show from my cell phone, y'all. You got to do what you got to do.
Did you know that every time you swipe your debit card, those behind-the-scene transaction fees make the big banks even richer? In 2016 alone, these fees added up to $60 billion. Yes, that's billion with a B. Well, what if there was a way to have the convenience of a debit card, but reroute those fees from the banksters to organizations actually doing good in the world? Organizations that protect the environment or feed hungry children? What if your swipes could literally change the world? Well, Groundswell SPC has found a way to do just that. We've designed a Visa debit card program that shares transaction fees with your favorite cause. Groundswell partners with nonprofit organizations that promote the card to their supporters. Their supporters then use the card to power the mission of the nonprofit. It's a win-win-win for everyone, except the big banks, of course. Groundswell is about to launch its first cards into market, and we're inviting you to be part of this movement as an investor in the company. Go to WeFunder.com/GroundswellCard to learn more. Set up a free WeFunder account and invest in Groundswell today and get your money on mission.
Hi, my name is Angela Jean Rosehart, and I am the founder and radio host of Holistic Wholeness. I'd love to invite you to our radio show on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10:30 to noon, where I will have guests speaking about anything alternative with education, inspiration, and motivation. We have some upcoming shows pertaining to personal sovereignty, chemtrails and geoengineering, vaccine education, as well as ways to live your most empowered self. I hope you'll join us on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10:30 to noon Pacific Standard Time for Holistic Wholeness.
Okay, I think that might be the end of the commercial she is playing for. Still trying to find something for her, so I'm still stuck in the store. Fun times, everybody. One of those kind of days. I can't tell if Amber is in my dashboard or not because I can't see my dashboard. So, Amber, if you're here, say something to me.
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. All right, awesome. All right, chick. Sorry, I'm actually literally in the store right now because my daughter ain't feeling good. So I'm literally doing the show on the run, and I'll be back over there in just a minute when I'm done. But I'm going to go ahead and ask you what I ask everybody to start off our interview. That way we can get it rolling, and I don't have to interrupt you or anything for a minute. But, yeah, usually the first thing I ask all my guests is what really woke you up to the fact that vaccines are dangerous? Is usually where I like to start my interview because it's the question I like to ask everybody.
Well, really, I have a cousin who doesn't vaccinate. And so I guess that kind of technically woke me up. But what really did it for me was my son's reaction, my oldest son's reaction to his 2-month round of vaccines. He did not take it very well at all. He was just extremely feverish. I mean, like high feverish, 103, 104. I mean, like lethargic to the point where it was scary. It was very hard to arouse him. He had no appetite. Poor guy. Just GI issues, just quote unquote colic. It was just a disaster.
Oh my goodness.
So with before that, like I had said, my cousin doesn't vaccinate her 3 kids, her oldest being 11 now. And I remember before I had kids, you know, she would just talk about it every once in a while, and I kind of thought that they were crazy for not vaccinating. I didn't really think too much of it because it wasn't really on my radar. You know, I didn't have kids. It just wasn't really something that I thought about too much. But when I got pregnant, then they just kind of clicked in me, and I remember these conversations that I had with my cousin. So I kind of thought about it. I was a little hesitant about it. My husband and I actually interviewed our pediatrician because we wanted to see his stance on it. We wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to be too pushy if we decided not to vaccinate and things like that. So I unfortunately had the flu shot when I was pregnant, which obviously now I know is stupid. My son did not receive the Hep B after birth because that one, for some reason, I just felt was stupid. Why I didn't see the other ones as stupid either, I have no idea. But you know, hindsight is 20/20, right? So, yeah. So after he had that reaction, I just knew something was wrong. You know, the nurses will say, "Oh, it's normal," and it's common shouldn't equate to normal. You know what I mean? Just because so many kids have these reactions does not mean that that's normal. So I knew.
I think that's the thing that pisses me off the most when they try to normalize it, and like the Sesame Street thing. I remember when they put the Julia thing on Sesame Street. I went crazy over that. I mean, I even blew up Sesame Street themselves on that one because, you know, as I told them, until she starts, you know, swinging and eating her own poop. And, I mean, seriously, my kid does that all the time. She eats it, she smears it on things. You know, I mean, there's all kinds of things that are, you know, that happen. And it's just insane, you know.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but I do. I see that, you know, doctors visits all the time, like on Daniel Tiger.
When they had the Julia, when they had her flapping her arms, they made sure a butterfly would be fluttering by in front of her, or, you know, they always had something in the background or foreground that would explain why, instead of being, you know, it was never
like
something you could tell that was actually what was going on. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I knew that the reaction. I was like, I don't care what they say. I was like, this is my kid. I know my kid. You know, I mean, he's only 2 months old, but before this, you know, he was pretty alert, pretty bubbly as for the, you know, 3 hours that they're awake during the day when they're that old. But when he just, you know, like we would put cold washcloths on him to wake him up to try for him to eat, and nothing. I mean, nothing would wake him. And I knew. I said to my husband, I was like, it's those vaccines. And because we didn't do our education, we didn't do our diligence in doing the research beforehand. We just had that thought of, you know, there's something wrong with them. But I knew. I was like, you know what? I have to look into this. So I bought Vaxxed, and because this is pretty much like right around the time that Vaxxed came out. I bought Vaxxed, and I just went on a whirlwind. I just started digging into everything, going online in the wee hours of the morning, and just looking at everything that I could, because I just knew something was suspect. And as I expected, I was right. You know, they're just complete garbage. He had ear. I think it was like 3 or 4 ear infections by the time he was a year old. You know, just constant GI issues, always been, you know, the back arching thing. You would like grunt all the time, and yeah,
it's so sad to watch. The stomach issues, my daughter has them too, and we still go through a lot of this. And it is so hard to watch, because you know, even if you just get a little gas after a meal or something, you know how bad that hurts. Like your stomach just, I mean, it really does. And so to imagine what it must be like for them who, you know, I mean, they're little kids, and I mean, it's hard to, you know, I mean, like my daughter, she can't even tell me what's happening, and all of a sudden you can just tell her stomach's all bloated, and I mean, you know, and you can see her, same thing. Yeah, same thing like you're saying, arcing her back
and hard as a rock.
Yep, and if it's not pebble poops, which is what we call it, it's front to back diarrhea. Like you finally get that one giant blowout, and then you're right back to pooping rocks again. This poor kid, it's like I can't even imagine what your gut is going through. And I mean, we do the diet. You know, we do gluten free, we do casein free, we do soy free. You know, we do very little sugar. You know, I mean, we're so careful. So it's hard, because you're like, oh my goodness, you know, you try so many things to help them, and you still see them in so much pain. And I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a scary thing, definitely. I wish that, you know, there was, I wish I could find more ways to help, or that she could at least communicate to me so I could understand better how to help her. I think the thing for us that's worked the best is the bath, being able to put her in the tub or stand in the shower and like hold her up in the water and just let the water roll over her tummy. That seems to be the thing that, you know, makes her the happiest.
Yeah, my son likes that too, just the heat and whatnot. So, yeah, and I thank the Lord every day. I mean, I know it's kind of weird that I'm actually kind of somewhat grateful for that situation, for him having that reaction. Because had it not been for that reaction and my previous reluctance to the vaccine beforehand, I might not have made that correlation between the two, and I might have continued, and it very well might have permanently injured my son, because thank the Lord he is fine now, being 3.5 years of age. But you know, if I wouldn't have stopped, you know, who knows what could have happened. So
were you pretty fear-mongered into the flu shot that you received? I mean, was it, because I know for me, I was told that my child. Yeah, like, cause for me they were like, look, if your child could die in the womb of tetanus if you don't get this tetanus shot, and on and on and on. So I mean, I was like scared not, you know, but I was scared not to. Like truly, I thought they were telling me the truth. And
they're like, oh, you know, if you get sick if you get the flu while you're pregnant, it could be detrimental to the pregnancy and blah 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 blah. Yeah, I the flu shot. Yeah, that was before I actually even really started having my thoughts about it. This is when I didn't really even see anything of it, because it was really towards the latter end of my pregnancy that I really started having these thoughts about vaccines. So when I got my flu shot at, you know, I don't know, 27 or something like that, I can't exactly remember, around that time, I was just like, oh, you know, like, yeah, whatever. You know, it's like, oh, if you don't get it, you know, it could be bad, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, my God, it's my first pregnancy, first-time mom. I don't want my kid to die, you know, come out with, you know, forearms popping out its head or something, because, like, I got sick while I was pregnant. You know, I was scared, so I didn't know what to do. So, and I like I said, I thank God every day that he doesn't have irreparable damage from inevitably what is my mistake. So I just try not to get too down on myself. You know better, you do better, right?
Yep, and you can't do anything about the past. I mean, you are right. Know better, do better. And I kicked myself for a minute, and then I realized, you know what? If I just get up and I try to do something about it instead of sitting here being mad at myself, then I think that I'd have a better outcome. And like I tell people every week, the more people that I reach out to or that reach out to me, the more people I'm able to help. It helps me heal. It helps me get over some of this. It helps me, you know, I mean, it really does. It helps me understand that, yeah. I mean, it really,
well, yeah, because then you can help save somebody from, you know, the possible damage or the possible heartbreak that, you know, you or people that we know have suffered. So I always carry a stack of info cards with me now in my diaper bag or in my purse. So no matter where I'm at or what bag I have, I always have cards accessible to me. And anytime I see a pregnant woman now, within like the last 2 weeks, I've just been like running around just handing cards to everybody. People probably think I'm crazy in my town. But if I see a pregnant woman, that's who I hit up first, because I'm just like, you know, I got to get this pregnant woman. I got to strike while the iron's hot, you know, nip it in the bud. So
I think everybody in my town thinks I'm crazy. But I mean, it's cool, too, because you end up knowing a lot of people. And, like, it's so funny, when my boys are here during the summertime, we, you know, anywhere we go, it's like, oh, my God, Mom, you know everybody in this town, and every one of them knows what you do. It's like, yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know. I just see it as it's my duty. You know what I mean? I have to do that. I have to tell people it's my job to do that. And if I don't, then I don't feel like I've done something right that day. Like, and I've had times where I literally put my car in park when I'm leaving, you know, the grocery store or something. See a couple walking up with a little baby. I will throw my car in park and get out, go take them a card, take them something, talk to them, invite them to listen to the show. I mean, you know, do whatever I have to do, because I feel like that's my responsibility. And, you know, I mean, I hear so many activists now who have gotten kind of cold to their activism, and they'll say, well, I don't even talk to people out in public anymore, or, you know, things like that. And it honestly, it breaks my heart, because grassroots kind of thing, that's how you get further, is really to reach out to your local communities and really to bring your local people closer. I mean, I hope that one day when, you know, we finally get everybody in gear and ready to do this right, I really hope that, you know, it's from a good place where, I mean, everybody actually is on the same page and doing the same things, and it's so stressful. We see so many people, you know, I mean, you and I were talking about earlier, and we have to keep talking about it, people who just don't believe in the unity of things and the same message of positivity. I don't want anything to do with those kind of people. I just don't. I mean, the same thing. I don't have time. I just don't have time for it. My daily life is so consumed between injured kids myself, you know, that I have to take care of, the show, the business, and the business takes up probably 90 to 95% of my day, with the kids being a part of that. And so, I mean, I mean, you know how it is. It's crazy. I have one of those hiking backpacks, and she's finally outgrowing it, but I was strapping Jasmine to my back in a hiker's backpack just to be able to make roll-ons and do work without her walking up to the table, smacking them all over, or, you know, doing something crazy. It's like, I've got to be able to get the work done, so, you know, we just find ways around it. You know, half the time you got really like, if you get busy in the kitchen, it's, Mom, Jazzy's naked, she's standing in the window. You know, it's like, oh, Lord, here we go again. I wonder what the neighbors think.
Just right. It's almost just like with the older ones. It's like, what is it? Can you deal with it? You know, pick your battles.
Yeah. It's scary. And people who stare and stuff like that, use that as opportunities, folks. Don't ever get offended by that. You know, I don't know. I get a little frustrated even. You know, I saw somebody with Downs the other day, and I saw this guy just staring him down. And, you know, I'm one of those people, I don't know if I'm just strange or what, but I have this, I don't know, I love people. I just love people. I love hugging people. I love being around people. And I believe in just spreading love. And I remember, you know, several times when I see people doing stuff like that, I will say hello. I will always give a smile. I will, if they're interested, I love hugs. You know what I mean? That's just how I am. Anybody. I meet people all the time. I get in conversations all the time with fellow warriors I didn't even know existed in my area. And people probably think I'm crazy because I just want to hug them. I just want to thank them. I just want to, you know, thank them for being a part of it and for not being scared. Or if you see somebody out there that you think, wow, I know what that is. I know what they're suffering from. I can see the vaccine injury. I can see what's going on. Reach out to those people. They will be really thankful for you. You may be the person who helped save their family member or their child or whatever it may be, you know, grandchild, whatever, from going through more vaccinations and the problem getting worse. Like, don't be afraid to go up to people.
Exactly.
I know it's scary. I mean, I get that. But, I mean, and my daughter, she'll tell you straight up, I don't know. I think once you get past the fear of it, that's when you become very fierce. You become very unstoppable. And you do kind of freak them out a little bit. I think us women walking up in the CDC and saying, you know, our piece in front of them and not showing fear, not wavering, not, you know, whatever, I think that says something to them. I think that a lot of them literally look shocked, like they had never heard of vaccine injury before, other than that little piece of paper, you know, that they cover that 5 seconds of worth, you know, through the whole 2 days. They didn't realize that you could actually put a face to this, you know, hey, this is real. Oh, crap, they're sitting right in front of us. These people are tangible. That makes a big difference because then you have to speak to the character of the human being. And a lot of those people didn't seem like bad people. They really didn't. And I don't think that if they knew, then consciously they would be making the same decisions that they're making now. So I think that that's something where we have hope. At the end of my comment, I watched a woman sit there and, like, put her hand over her mouth like, oh, my God. Like, people were clapping. Like, you could tell they were ready for change in that room. And it was even people on their side. I mean, it's crazy when you go back and watch our videos of all the moms leaving their comments, and you see people from in the room who are working there clapping. I mean, a lot of those people, I think, even they're waiting for change. I mean, I think there's a lot more going on behind the scenes, and people really do realize. I think we think they're a lot more naive, but I really do think that they were waiting for us. I hate to say it that way, but I swear it felt like that when we were in that building. It felt like they had just been waiting for us to show up.
They probably have been, because a lot of people want to speak out to this injustice, but they're scared. You know, I mean, all these holistic doctors that are, you know, just
they disappear.
Disappearing or dying out of nowhere, and these researchers for the CDC and things like that, and it's scary. It really is, you know. So, but the truth has to get out there. I mean, like you said, it's like even if you're helping one person, because it's just so many people are truly ignorant to the dangers of vaccines, because it is just a status quo. It's just something that you do. You know what I mean? It's like my cousin, she's actually not very vocal about her stance on it, like, you know, that she doesn't vaccinate. And she's just, you know, I mean, to each their own, but, you know, to her, she's just, you know, that's just not something that she does, and I get that. But if she would have never said anything to me, I might have never thought about it. I might have never, ever thought about vaccines. So it's like we have to go out there and we have to speak to these people, because they might not know otherwise. We might be the only person that they'll ever encounter in their life that's going to tell them that there's something wrong with vaccines. So, like, I handed a card to a young couple at the store the other day. They had a baby in a carrier. I mean, it couldn't have been, you know, more than 4 or 5 months old, and I just handed her the card. I didn't even really say anything to her. I said, I just wanted to hand this to you. And then she's like, oh, what's this? And I said, it's about vaccines. And her face just, like, lit up, like, she was just so, like, what? Like, I had, you know, what are you talking about? Like, what about vaccines? You know? So it's because it's, like I said, most people are just, they're truly ignorant. They have no idea. So we have to go and we have to plant that seed. And if you're scared, just hand somebody a card. Like, you know, I see people saying that, you know, they don't have the money for the cards and stuff. I go to Dollar Tree and I get cue cards at like 100, 150, 200 cue cards, and I will literally write out these cue cards. It's timely, but it is what it is. It works. I'll go and I'll put them up at the laundromat, at the bulletin boards. Like, I'll post them on there at the pediatrician's office. I'll put them in the magazines. I'll put them over by the kids area. You know, you're going to have a little toddler, like, walking up to mommy, like, oh, what's this? And it's going to be like a little card that says, you know, you don't have to vaccinate your kids to put them into school. You know, it's just, you got to just put it out there. And even if you're nervous, you don't have to talk to anybody. There are ways to do it without. you know?
Yeah, I like doing that too. I agree. We put our business and the medical science research stuff on one side, and then we put the Post-it note for our radio show, stick it to the other side of these things, and then we pass them out. We even leave them, if we go somewhere every blue moon for a meal or something with the girls, I'll leave them on the table with the tip, stick them to the boards inside the little restaurants and places, or, you know, wherever you're at. And so, I mean, it's kind of neat because you can... Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Oh, my goodness. Today's not been my day. I'm sorry, too, for everybody listening. It's been one of those kind of crazy days. It has not been my day. I've got kids that don't feel good. Everything's going crazy. And I didn't want to do a replay because, well, I didn't know they were going to be not feeling good today. Everybody was fine last night. But I didn't do a replay because I've done so many. Oh, yeah. Because, you know, we'd had to do so many lately with everything that I've been going through. And so I was like, no, I'm going to do this show. I already had to reschedule on you once. So it's like, I'm going to do this thing. And I have got Lolland down for the count in here, which is my 18-year-old, who's usually got my two little ones. The two little ones are directly up underneath me, fresh from the tub, butt naked. And everything is just crazy in here. So
yeah, speaking of which, your daughter, I don't know if you've looked into this or not, but my best friend growing up actually she has like cysts on her ovaries, and she's always sick, especially in the morning. She's vomiting and things like that. So I don't know if maybe that's something that you
see. And I want to have her. I'm gonna take her to the OB. I trust my OB if I trust anybody. And here, put some clothes on. And I was going to take her to her because we ended up, like her grandmother on her dad's side ended up having actually really bad ovarian cancer and had to have a lot of surgeries, and she's been pretty much to hell and back. And I have cancer on my side when it comes to breasts, you know, my mother and her sister. And then colon on my dad's side. So, you know, it's scary to me because you just don't know. And for her, I mean, she's only 18 years old, and we've probably been dealing with this since she probably right after really puberty started. You know, right after she really started going through puberty, she started really getting sick a lot. And at first I just thought, well, maybe it's that time of the month. Maybe for you it's just bad. Because I had them so bad, my doctor actually wanted to do a hysterectomy before Lily and Jasmine were born. And I kept saying, no, I don't want to do that. I don't think I'm done having kids yet. And she kept saying, look, we need to do this. You have cancerous cells. We really need to get this underway. And I didn't want to do it. So at that point she said, well, we'll just do a leap, see if we can get all the cells and see if we can, you know, at least make it to where, you know, your kids, you know, you can have the kids you want to have. And she kept advising me not to anyway because of my heart problems and saying, you know, this could kill you. Whatever, we decided to have babies. And I actually had a tubal reversal to have Lily and Jasmine. After my third child, which is my son Avery, I had a tubal. And so I even went through a tubal reversal, for anybody out there who thinks they want to go through that, really think about it hard because it was insanely painful. The recovery was probably some of the worst things that I've ever been through. And they messed up part of, like, I guess, I don't know if it's a tube or what that's in there, but they made something in there where it never has been the same, and it's always in pain. So just be real careful. Make sure you have a great doctor. And we didn't even have a choice, really. It was whoever the insurance told us to go to. So
yeah, because I'm thinking about actually having that, not the reversal itself, but having the tubes tied because I can't have.
Well,
I don't want
that part was easy. That part was super easy. I don't know. They did mine after him, and it was a trip because they told me they just make a tiny, like the scar for that is literally like a belly button ring kind of scar, like if you had your belly button pierced. That's what a scar from a tubal looks like. But a tubal reversal looks like a cesarean section scar.
Oh. Yeah, well, because of it's laparoscopic, the tubal itself, right?
Right,
so
right. Yeah, they filled my stomach up with air. Yeah, well, it's weird, though. They say they fill your whole stomach up with air, put the tools in, do the procedure, and then they push the air back out. Then they keep coming up to you for days straight, pushing on you and pushing on you and pushing on you. It's like, get the hell off me. It's painful. It is pretty painful. It was insane to me. I was just kind of shocked by that. But that was the only part after that. It wasn't. I mean, I think it was maybe a week or two, and I felt like myself, you know. And I had even just had my son, so it wasn't too bad for the tubal part. Now the reversal, I'm not going to lie. I would never recommend it again or recommend it to anybody. It was horrible. But for me, too, as well, I guess I have problems with anesthesia. So also when I was supposed to be, you know how they say don't let you leave the hospital till you urinate? Well, they didn't do that with me. Yeah. So my bladder was still asleep when I left the hospital, and by the next day I still hadn't peed. And I kept drinking and drinking, thinking if I just keep drinking more, I'll finally be able to pee. That was a bad idea.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Get to the hospital, and she puts a cath in me, and they give me morphine straight off the bat. She's like, your bladder is 5 times bigger than it should be. You should not. It should have burst. I don't understand why it hasn't burst. And morphine, Phenagrin for the nausea from the morphine. Like, it was just crazy. It was like, okay, so this is why I don't like getting surgery. You know, it's like, man, I mean, it's just one thing after the other. You never know. So, I mean, my littlest one, Jazzy, whose birthday it is today, I'm scared to death because she will only take a 0 to 3 month bottle. So naturally, she has bottle mouth, and she's 3. I mean, she's still on a 0 to 3 month old nipple, and she's 3 years old. But anything else you give her, she chokes on. She can't swallow it. She can't handle it. And so she has bad upper teeth. And I'm scared to death to take her in to get her teeth done. Number one, because it scares me. But number two, I've had little nightmares that she won't wake up. And I'm like, I've had dreams, and a lot of them have been like almost premonitions that have happened. My kids have seen some crazy things from dreams come true. So it's like, I don't even, like, I'm scared to death of that. I'm like, let's just try to get older and try to, you know, and I keep freaking out. And I'm thinking, what do you even do for a child like her? She can only drink out of a bottle, but if you get your teeth pulled, you can't drink anything. You can't suction on anything. So, I mean, you know, she won't drink from a cup. She won't drink from a sippy. She won't drink from anything regular, like just take a sip.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like how
anything like that.
Yeah, and won't take ice cream, won't take popsicles. I mean, it's scary. It's like, what do you do? You know, I mean, I'm telling you, you know how it is. Vaccine injury comes with such a list of challenges, and you never know what to do or how to get through most of them. You know, it's just like day to day we're just guessing and hoping we're getting it right.
Yeah, it's a good day. And my heart goes out to you and everybody that still is dealing with their injuries. And how people can say that it's not real, you know.
Yeah.
It baffles me, but it also makes me angry at the same time because it's you know,
so
mothers know their child. So
amen. I agree with that. Way better than these doctors do. I met them 5 seconds ago too.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me about what is your brand of activism, Amber? What is Amber Smith's brand of activism? How do you see yourself in the movement? Where, you know what I'm saying? What do you see your skill or your talent in this as, or do you get what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I started researching right after my son had his injury, which was he was 2 months, and he's about 3.5 now. So I've been doing it for about 3 years or so, 3.5 years. But I wasn't really too active in the movement per se. I just did my own independent research, and I talked to family and friends and people just face to face. I wasn't really too active on social media. It was only up until recently, within the last few months, that I started becoming super active and super vocal about it out on social media. And I don't know, I kind of just found that's my niche, I guess. I just kind of really have taken to it and just kind of getting out there and excuse me, and just speaking my truth. And I think that's kind of where I'm good at, is the whole social outreach, social awareness. So
that's awesome, because we definitely need a lot of people. Yeah, that's amazing. Well, that's good though. We need loudmouths. We need people screaming it from the rooftops, and we need more people doing that. And honestly, to me, I love our dashboard warriors. I mean, it's nice to have people out there in the trenches with you, of course, but you got to have both. And I mean, I try to do both myself as much as I can. But, I mean, we really do. I mean, that's why I like to say I love our people who are honestly, there are people who are bedridden who do so much for this movement, and it just blows my mind. It's like, their tenacity and their integrity just always just amazes me. So, seeing how much we're all really capable of, too, and how much if we really just did actually unite, stop bickering, stop acting silly, really how much everybody is capable of themselves. And people really don't believe in themselves enough, and it makes me sad. Because, I mean, in my own mind, I'm capable of anything. You know what I mean? In my own head, maybe I'm a crazy one, but I'm capable of anything I want to do. Anything I set my mind to, I can pull it off. Because I got God, we got science. You know, I mean, like, I don't know. That's just where I stand at. And I don't, if, you know, people can stand with us and we can get this job done. You know, I'm so looking forward to JB's book getting here today in the mail because I'm just dying to read this thing. I'm dying to have that, whatever he's got in there in my head to be able to share. And,
yeah,
you know, so many people out there.
That actually.
Yes.
Mine's not getting here until when I came, like October or something like yours is.
Yeah, that's what they did to me.
I know that you said that Lou sent your copy to you, but I think that I've noticed some people within the movement. I feel like that's one thing that we're being split within the movement, and this whole thing about JB and, like, you know, he's for selective scheduling versus eliminating it. So now everyone's like just dividing on that, and it's just like I think we need to stop being so nitpicky. We need to really focus on the matter at hand. We need to focus on the matter at hand is that kids are being injured by these vaccines. And so I haven't read the book, but I've seen excerpts and I've heard people talking about it and the medical screening. So he recommends the medical screening. They get screened. They possibly have, you know, the MTHFR variation, and they don't vaccinate. So he's not just, I don't know, this whole pro-vaccine, and, you know, I'm with Anu on this whole, what's the word, controlled opposition or whatever it is. Oh my goodness, that is the most annoying thing ever. It's like if somebody doesn't agree with one little incy thing that you agree with, they're automatically controlled opposition, and it's just, it makes no sense, you know. JB is doing so much for this movement, and because he has one thing that you don't agree with, he's automatically controlled opposition, and he's bought by big pharma and blah 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 blah. And it's distracting, and it's taking away from the you know, what the thing at hand, what we need to be worrying about is trying to end this epidemic that is autism. So we need to stop fighting with each other and nitpicking. And
yep, I agree. It's insane. That's right.
You know?
That's right. Seriously, though. I mean, do something. Instead of talking crap, go do something. This is where I'm at. I'm like, you know what? I have such huge plans for this movement that I have in my own little mind, and I've only shared with a few people because I'm just at this point where it's like I don't even know what to do anymore. I mean, I swear to God, these plans in my brain were divinely inspired, and I don't even know how to bring them forth anymore because people are so busy bickering and acting silly that it just feels like there's no timing for this. Like you can't even get people to unite. And I'm sure that all these people in Italy and Poland and all these other places marching together aren't sitting there in the background trying to rip each other's heads off and then like, oh, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow at the rally, guys. You know, I mean, it's going to take actually uniting and doing things. And
nobody
I spend money I don't have
about anything. You know?
It's hard for people like me, too, because we lose a lot, and we spend a lot of money and time we don't have on this. And then to see people acting that way, it's like someone, I said this before on my show, it's like somebody punching you personally in the stomach because I'm busting my butt out here and I'm trying so hard with very little to make a lot happen, and you've got people just kicking you while you're working, and it's like, you know what? If you're going to be such a hindrance, move on.
Know that nothing that you do is ever in vain. So, I mean, just, you know, you have to ignore the ignorance out there, and you got to just keep powering on and doing you, and, you know, people are going to hear you. So it's sad, though. It really is. Like I said, I'm still new to the movement, so I'm kind of still sifting my way through, you know, who I kind of want to gravitate towards, you know.
Yeah.
So
you know,
really,
and I've been paying
necessarily, but
and I've been paying a lot of attention too to some of the people who are in a larger position, if you know, however you want to say it. And we've got a lot of people who I mean, pay attention to the right people. Pay attention to the people who are out there doing stuff. Pay attention to the ones trying to make the difference. Don't pay attention to the drama. Let that stuff fall into the background. And it's like anything else.
Yeah.
You ignore it and it goes away because they're not getting the rouse out of people that they were hoping for. And, when they see everybody like, hey, we don't have time for this, and everybody keeps saying that, hopefully they get on board. Right. And if not, well, then hopefully they figure out where they do want to be.
And these people, they get on their hate train, and then you see their Facebook is just bombarded with all this, just every post is just bashing. There's always a snooze option. Yep. You can go to that right-hand corner of the post, and you can snooze somebody for 30 days. You don't like what they're saying. Mm-hmm. It's like, you know what, they're kind of on a little rampage, maybe they're PMS and whatever it may be. I'm just going to go ahead and snooze this person for the next 30 days. Let them calm down, let them simmer down for a little bit,
I need new haters. My old ones are starting to like me.
What? I have every once in a while I have little haters popping in every once. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not doing my job well enough. I don't have too many of them. So maybe I got to step up my game. So gotta have one. I'm always interested to see who ends up hating on me. I got a lot of hate when I had Andrew Wakefield on the show. And I was really surprised by that, honestly. Oh yeah. Andy is the man. I don't.
And it's not even just him. It's so sad how people are. And I'm going to throw this out there since we're talking about this anyway. For anybody out there, if I'm going to have a guest on the show, please don't blow me up and tell me how bad they are. I've had so many people do that to me about so many people, and I believe everybody has a story. Everybody, yeah, exactly. I don't, and everybody has a right to tell their story. And my show is about positivity, and I always tell people that I don't allow the drama on my show, and never have, never will. I've lost friends over that fact that I won't let them call in and start drama with people they don't like. And it's like, you know what? If that's what you're about, then you're not really my friend in this because you know where I stand and what I'm about. And if you would like to come to my show and do that, then you don't respect me.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
and how
there's just a lot of
that scientist on Dell's show, and then people just were like, just jumping on him.
Oh my! That made me angry.
Like really, people? Like I said a little bit earlier. I mean, nobody is going to agree on everything. So if somebody says something that you don't like, and automatically they're the enemy. Like I honestly thought.
I thought our movement was all about being open-minded.
I don't hate people. I'm still buying Jason's book. I don't believe in any vaccines, but I'm still going to buy his book, and I'm still going to support him. It is what it is,
I mean, it's crazy for people who say they want to know everything. They want to know. They want to know everything going on. They want to know. I mean, this is what they say. We're the free thinkers, supposedly. We're the ones who want all information on both sides. Mm-hmm. And then somebody tries to give you some information coming from the other side, like, hey, this is what's happening out there right now. They're working on this, just so everybody knows this is out there right now. All of a sudden, everybody loses their minds, and it's like, you know what? I don't understand what just happened. Like, I really didn't. I was really frustrated. I was like, how in the world is this what just came out of this? I'm so confused.
It's just selective thinking, selective hearing. It's just selective knowledge. It's free thinking until somebody says something that you don't want to hear. So, we're all at one point or another, you know what I mean? But some people just take it to a whole other level.
I agree.
This movement has no place for that.
No, and I think about the people who have been in here fighting forever, and I just want to say also think about those people too, because it's also I think disrespectful. It's disrespectful to them, and honestly, I mean that's just how I feel about it. Like, I mean, I heard people in the past saying something about Polly Tommy, and I'll say this right now: let somebody say something about Polly or Suzanne or one of them that I hear. I mean, I'm a very peaceful person, but for any of them, any of them, I'm serious. Y'all see a different side of me because. I mean, these are, this is like family to me, and I take that very seriously. And, I mean, when Suzanne was going through all the stuff she was going through with people death-threatening her, I was talking to her all the time trying to just, send her Bible verses, send her uplifting stuff, send her something positive because I knew that had to be really hard, and that's like I can only imagine what that must be like to go through that, and how much tenacity she had through. I mean, she was seriously just like, well, if you're gonna get me, I'm going out with a bang. I'm gonna get everything in my mind out before you can, I mean, I was just like, I was, just and so impressed by her, and I think that a lot of people. Oh yeah, me too. I'm telling you, when I met her in person, I had been warned and I had been told, don't be surprised if she's cold or if she's not really personable. She's kind of standoffish. Yes, and things like this. And so the first time I meet her, she just gives me this huge hug. We ended up talking for probably 30 minutes before they went back on the bus. And, I just enjoyed her company so much, and she was so sweet to me. And, we've had so many personal conversations since then. She's done my show. We've interviewed before, too, before she did the show. Like, she puts the information out there in a way that you can't refute it. You can't say she doesn't know what she's talking about. You really do have to, you have to listen because And not only that, she makes it easy for people to understand too. So I always That's right. When new people come to me and they ask me for information, or they'll say like, "Hey, I'm trying to get somebody on board with vaccines. Can you give me information that I can give to them?" And that's such a broad statement because it's like I've been doing research for years, so it's like I have so much. I have an arsenal of research. So I always send like a few YouTube clips, of Jan Humphreys, and I actually just bought her book, Dissolving Illusions, and I just cracked it open a couple days ago. So we'll stay tuned on that. I've heard it's amazing, but oh my goodness, it's so good.
I've watched her talk about it, so I know the gist of it, but I'm pretty excited to kind of get into it. But yeah, she puts it out there. She's just a wealth of knowledge. She's just amazing.
I had a road trip to Houston the year before last, and I brought it with me and spent the road trip there and back reading it, and it was just so amazing. I was just so, just mind-blown because he just put so much in there. Between that one and Rising from the Dead, so much info. And honestly, there are so many books that people don't even, so many books people don't even know are out here. And that's one of the things I want to do in the future is to do a video kind of giving some book recommendations. I mean, if you don't have Miller's Review of Critical Vaccine Studies by Neil Z. Miller, please get that book if you don't have that book. Everybody listening, it is an amazing book. It is pretty much every single page is a different vaccine, different things about the vaccines, things they can do to you, ingredient, all kinds of stuff in that book. So Miller's Review of Critical Vaccine Studies is an amazing book. It's very good. And then also Jabbed by Brett Wilcox is one I highly recommend. It was just a very informative and amazing book. Oh, Brett's amazing. There's the thing for me that's so awesome is I feel like I am one of those lucky people for getting to do what I do, and somehow God has put me in the position. I literally did my first live video ever, and directly after that was offered this radio show. And I've been doing this radio show for yes. Hey, that's and I've been doing this radio show. I'm telling you, I've been doing this radio show. December 23rd will make 2 years, and it's just the most blessed thing that's ever happened to me. I've got to talk to some of the most amazing minds in our movement, and get to pick their brain, and it's just like wow. And I know God, that's God.
I got to talk to Dr. Andrew Wakefield because of you. It was brief, but it was still,
and I try to do that if I'm having somebody on the show that's a really big name. Yeah, I try to do that if I'm having a bigger name on the show. I don't like it to just be my questions because I feel like that's me being kind of like, I'm hogging them is how I feel. So, like when I had Dell, I had Patrick and Catherine, Anu, like anybody like that, I'll usually ask questions and then tell people if you'd like to ask them yourself, please call in. Yeah. And I love it when people call, and I wish people blew the show up the same way they do when those people are in because I just love talking to my fellow warriors, and it's so much more fun, and the conversation gets so much more in depth when you get a lot of people going. And, it's nice to know who's out there in listening land, too, for me, because for me, and I know as you can see, you've done the show with me, you came on with Andrew and then you've done the show today with me, you can see it's kind of like you're having a phone conversation, and if I'm on alone, it's really hard because then it's like I'm talking to myself. But that's kind of what it feels like is you're out here and you have no idea how many people are listening. When Andrew was on with me, there were literally hundreds upon hundreds of people listening in. And you don't feel that. You don't know that. You're like, there could be one person tuning in for all I know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's interesting to see the numbers each week and see how many people are tuning in, and we still, for almost the 2 years I've been on, have been one of the top, well, I don't like to brag, but seriously, like the top show on Freedomizer. We get the most listens each week usually, and we draw in the biggest crowd. It's cool to me because I only cover vaccines. So that tells you something, and you don't realize it, but I get calls and people, or find me on Facebook, and it's like, hey, I was a first-time listener. I'm an autism parent. Didn't realize you were out here, and you get so many people who want more information, want to know what you're talking about. I didn't realize this could happen because of vaccines. Can you tell me more? And it's a blessing to me because you just have this outlet. And I told my daughter, I also believe that's God because I am on Monday morning. First show out of Freedomizer, out of the gate on Monday morning every week, and somehow to have that kind of listen base, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody's going to work.
At this time, at this time, yeah, exactly. Lunchtime, nap times and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yep. I know that we're all here for a reason.
You and what you have to say.
I greatly appreciate every one of them, and I know that we're all here for a reason. And like you said, I'm kind of the same way. I have a big mouth. I like to use it. It gets me in a lot of trouble in other aspects of my life, but at least in one aspect, it comes in my, in my favor. I was in my trouble in my marriage in the past a lot because I would be told I was too quick-witted and I was too good at arguing. I was too good at getting my point across, and I could make anything sound good and, whatever. And it was like, I think that's a skill. I don't think that's a downfall. I thought I was supposed to be glad about that. Oh, my goodness.
Right.
But I guess that all depends on who you ask, I guess. If you're someone you're in a opposing debate with, maybe they wouldn't feel that way.
Yeah, I'm like that too. I always say my husband is the order to my chaos because I'm like the boisterous one, and he's pretty docile, and he's usually just sitting, bye baby, just sitting back, and I'm the one that's kind of just out there and just running my mouth all the time. And, but
I think I embarrass my family.
He loves it. He married me, so.
See, and I think that's the hardest part for me is like my activism, when our kids were injured, me and my husband had been married for only a couple of years. We've known each other for about 25 years, but we'd only been married for a couple of years. And, it's been really hard for us because we went from a very connected couple. And, I mean, we were together all the time until the girls were born. And, with Jazzy, you can't just let her be outside with Daddy. You can't. She doesn't understand to just stay here and play with him or play with this and, whatever the case may be. You really have to be on top of everything 24/7. And so, I mean, it changes things a lot. Mom ends up inside with the kids, Dad ends up doing work and whatever he's doing, and before you know it, you've grown so far apart. And, I mean, it is hard on a marriage. I mean, I know, for me, Jasmine's with me 24/7. It's odd for his family to be with her. It's odd for them to spend time with her. For her, we took her yesterday to do the birthday with Daddy and Grandma and Papa, and it was awkward. It was weird feeling because nobody really interacts with her but me and Lawlin. And so nobody really knew how to they didn't pick her up, touch her, like any of that kind of stuff. Everybody just kind of sits at a distance and watches what she'll do next. And so, it's hard for my brain because you see Lily getting all this attention and affection, and she gets to go spend the night. She gets to do all these things. And poor Jasmine, I don't know how much of it she gathers, but it just breaks my heart because, she doesn't get those things. But I told Lawlin I've gotten so used to her being with me 24/7 that if she wasn't, I think I would be in panic mode because I'd be curious if anybody was taking care of her needs.
Yeah.
She's right in front of me right now, walking in a waddle. She's just wandering around the house waddling. I think she's making a number. Woohoo, Jazzy, you smell bad. Oh my goodness.
I'm with my kids 24/7 too. My husband works, 60, sometimes 70 hours a week, and I'm with them. It's just us, so I definitely can understand that feeling. So
yeah, I mean, it's rough on your mind because you realize that it's no one's responsibility but your own. But at the same time, sometimes you're just like, oh my God, I need a break. You know?
Oh,
it's like, Jesus.
Yes, I'm a very social person, so I get cabin fever a lot, so it's difficult sometimes.
I may seem social. I used to be very social.
Form sentences.
Yes, that's me all the time. I spend 90% of my time with people who don't conversate back to me, and that's rough. That's rough on anybody. And and it was hard because then if I would spend time with my husband, we'd pretty much spend that time arguing. So you've either got not talking at all or arguing, and at some point your brain just gets overloaded.
About the kids, or arguing, talking about the kids. It's
Yep. Yep. And it's hard. You arguing. You argue about money. You argue about the kids. You argue about the movement. I argue about the movement all the time. It's hard. For him, he doesn't really want to hear about the movement. He doesn't want to hear about all that kind of stuff. It's just not his thing. It's not what he's into. And so I try to respect that, but it's hard. You get excited, like, I'm having Andrew Wakefield on. Woo! Like you want to shout about it. You are excited. Yes, so it is. It's hard. It feels like,
be excited.
Yes. And that's what I told my daughter. For me, is so hard. I feel like the place that I do, I do so much of my activism from when I'm not out and about and, doing the events or something, is the one place I feel like, it's my online home, but I also can't really share it or talk about it. So it's a weird feeling because so much happens there, and I talk to so many people there and make so many connections. And so, you just get, I don't know, you get kind of weird. Life just gets where you feel kind of closed off. And I've been opening my doors back up. I've been getting to this point of where I try so hard to not let anything negative affect me. I try so hard to just go, okay, this happened. Now we got to find, now I got to find the good in this and figure out how to keep going, and every day is getting easier, and I think that's what we all go through. It's just believe in yourself, everybody, and don't let anything get you down, and I really do hope that, have faith in yourself. I've heard so many people also say that they're too scared to be activists or in a louder way, or too afraid of what will happen, or CPS is going to show up at their door. I've heard that a lot. And the louder you are, the less they will mess with you. The louder you are, the less they will mess with you.
You're not doing anything illegal. Literally,
That's right.
At the end of the day. And I'm not going to say that that medical kidnapping doesn't happen, because it does. So obviously you want to be extremely vigilant in that aspect, but not vaccinating your kids is not illegal.
That's right.
So
I made it a point when we were at the
end of the day, don't open the door. And my husband and I are very firm lovers of our Second Amendment. So I would love CPS to come knocking at my door.
I love my little Ruger 38
at my door.
So Mama stays strapped.
We got some of the bigger ones running around here, but it's
friend.
So
if you ever get bored, If you ever get bored, go to my YouTube for Barrington Acre Farm. My friend, we went shooting with a couple of friends of ours, and I shot a 50 cal rifle twice. I shot literally out of the frame of the video. I went far so back from the kickback of that gun.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, that is some fun though. But be prepared, everybody. I'm sorry. I like to get out and go shooting, practicing. Make sure you're prepared, because you don't ever know. And I'm not saying like they knock on the door and you just start opening up fire or nothing. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, you're only going to put up with but you're only going to put up with so much. Yes. You're only going to put up with so much, and you don't have to let them in, and that's something that you need to understand your rights, and that's something I've learned also by watching The High Wire. I learned a lot from Dell, and the people he's had on is that, they don't have as many rights to your children or you as they let on they do, and as long as you go along with them believing it, then they win. And that it actually was changed in the law that CPS is allowed to lie in order to apprehend the children if they feel like it's in the best interest of the children. They're allowed to lie, and this is in a court of law. Yes, I couldn't believe it when I heard it. People were sending it to me, and I was like, that's bullcrap, can't believe it. And actually went and checked it out myself, and it was true. CPS is allowed to lie if they think they're doing so in the best interest of the child to get them out of the home.
And
so
it's like
that's something.
like, what do they consider? Who considers what's in the best interest of the child? Is it the CPS officer, the case officer? You know what I mean?
It's
because
insane.
then they could be extremely pro-vaccine, so they could come at me and say, well, it's in my opinion that it's in the child's best interest that they be vaccinated. So,
right.
Well, you know?
Right.
Even though
that's what I was going to say. I made it a point when we went to the ACIP and the CDC, standing in the middle of their building on their microphone, I made it a point to tell them, I will never vaccinate my children again, and the state will not come take my children. I will fight tooth and nail for my kids. This is not the way it should be. Like, you can't force something on a child, hurt them, and then say, I'll take them if you don't want to do it again. Like, that ain't okay. This system's just setting up to hurt people. And it was crazy to watch the faces of everybody in that room, and I'm thinking, I remember telling Del Bigtree, like, I'm pretty sure my mouth overloaded my behind at some point, but that's what you have to do. You've got to go in there in their faces. You've got to go tell them what you think. And I, honestly, girl, I don't remember what I said. When I got up there, I prayed on the way there.
Point, right?
Yes, I'm telling you. Sorry, everybody. I'm back. I got bonked by Freedomizer. Not sure what just happened. Let me get my guest back in here. Okay, there we go. Sorry, Freedomizer bonked me. Oh, my goodness. But anyway, I made it a point to point out that Paul Offit himself was the one who said if you don't want to vaccinate your children, they should be taken by the state. And he was in the room that day. I sat down right next to him, like literally right next to him. And, in my mind it was like I wanted them to realize this person they were all chuckling in unison at and clapping for literally was saying that people like me should have their children taken away because they had been injured by their system. It's like, you guys really need to realize what you're doing here. And I'm serious, girl. I hope one day you can make it to one of these meetings. I'd love to meet you in person and have you there with us. I think we've got upwards of about
I'm
two.
trying to plan for February. I
That'd be
really
amazing.
wanted to be there in October, but it's with my kids and I have my car. I won't be able to make it all the way to Atlanta. And I looked up bus tickets and train tickets. And no lie, but I can't spend 3 days on a bus.
You're like me. You're like me. I tried to make it. I was trying to make it to the California rally.
If it was
I'm telling you, I was trying to make it to California.
But I can't.
It's too expensive.
With my 2 kids, I can't even do it. So,
we looked into a round trip to go to the.
I'm trying to be there. So.
Yeah, we looked into the round trip for the. We looked for a round trip for the one meeting, and it was like for the thing in the rally for justice in California a couple of weeks ago, and it was like I think it came out to like $1,500. It would have been just for flying there and back, much less like a car and a hotel. And I was like, look, I don't even have near that kind of money. That's like 3 months rent. I can't do that, And it stinks because you want to be able to be there and you want to be a part of it. But, and that's the thing why I tell people, try to get things going locally. You yourself, if people listening in, anybody, you can get something going. I'm actually working with a local herb shop. I've been trying to talk into doing a big event forever, and I think I've finally gotten swayed and trying to get them to just pretty much sponsor an event where I can get some speakers in there. And, they said, hell, we'll even bring the crowd. Like, we know tons of people around this town. And they were talking about renting out this big event place called the Brooks Hall or something like that. And I was like, well, let's do this thing. I know plenty of people. As long as I give them a heads up, I can get plenty of speakers here who can get some awareness going and get people understanding what's happening. And, I didn't want to just do it about vaccines. I wanted somebody there talking about chemtrails. I wanted somebody there talking about what's in your water, someone talking about why it's important to eat organic food, someone talking about glyphosate. Like, I want to be able to actually help wake my city up.
Vaccines, all that stuff,
and I think that's where we mess up is if we just target the one thing, especially if you're doing an event. You get way less people, or you get people who are very skeptical because of the word vaccine. So as long as you can, you just make it a kind of a health thing, and it's all about your health and your natural abilities, and building up your natural immunities and things like that, and learning how to live that way, then you get a lot more people that way. And then you can kind of share all your information, and I think, I don't know, I just feel like there's big things coming. There's a lot of people, I think, working on a lot of stuff, and, it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going. And, I think it's so important that we all just keep going And don't let the background noise disturb us. And I know you're out there doing a lot. And I just want to tell you, you are adorable, by the way. You are just adorable. That's why I picked that picture as the main one. I just thought that picture was so cute.
Oh, me? Oh, oh, thanks.
Yeah, you were just adorable. My teenager was laughing. I was like, wasn't she just adorable?
I'm a Snapchat.
Yeah, my daughter is too.
So.
I don't even know how to use Snapchat. Her and my son sit there and go through all these funny Vines together, making fun of some old Vine thing. And I'm like, look, that app came and went before I even knew it existed. You know, like I have no idea what that even means.
Vines. Oh, that's so like 2008. And I'm just kidding.
They crack me up. They sit in here and say all these weird little one-liners, and I'm like, what are y'all even talking about? And then they're like, oh, it's a Vine. I'm like, oh, no wonder I should have understood. That's why I don't get it. Oh my goodness. The world has changed, my friend. Everybody's with their head stuck in their phone all day long, and, you know, it seems like the world's gotten less and less about getting out in the sunshine, and that's probably why everybody's so sick this time of year.
Right. I mean, it's like it's a double-edged sword. I mean, because really, you know, social media and technology is such a great way to get out there and network and stuff, but it sucks us in, you know, at the end of the day. And I just saw a post, somebody like just a meme or whatever, and it was just like, I'm having people over next Saturday to look at their phones. Do you want to come? Something like that, you know, like having a party. We're all just gonna come and stare at our phones if you want to join. So it's pretty much how it is nowadays, you know. Everyone on their phones.
Right. So, yeah, I know. I think that's our lives from here on out. I think for me, I'm like, I spend every single day just trying to figure out how I make it to tomorrow. I've had 2 heart attacks and a mini stroke, and I'm about to be 38, I think next Wednesday or something. I don't know, October 3rd, I'll be 38 years old. And I don't have no shame telling my age. Y'all, I look older than that, so. I look older than that, so I'll tell y'all how old I am. Oh, my goodness. But, I mean, it's scary when you have a child with severe special needs and you already have health problems yourself. I know my buddy Lou, I know she's you know, we talk a lot, and my buddy Randy, a lot of people, you know, they see me literally, my daughter's like, Mom, you are withering away. Like you went from I went from 130 something pounds at the start of around the start of the year to at this point I think I'm wearing a size 3 and they're falling off. I could probably put on a size 0. And I mean, I was in a 9 before, and nothing. My diet's not changing. You know, my stress has changed a lot. But I mean, it freaks you out. It's like, oh my goodness, what is wrong with my body? Like,
do you take any time for yourself and throw some of those bath bombs that you worked so hard making into a bath for yourself?
I try. That's just like last night. Last night, I hopped in the tub last night with some of the new Retro Revival because I'm just a patchouli fan. And I get in there, and about 2 seconds in, I lean back in the tub, and then here comes Lily. I'm going to get in with you. I was like, all right, come on. And then, of course, the whole time, you know how it is. She won't stop splashing, won't stop goofing around. Yeah, I was like, okay, well, that's a good sentiment. But that's usually how it goes for me. If they hear the water, they're coming. And Jasmine especially, that is her that is her calming thing. So if she hears a shower, she's getting in. And so, you know, there's not a lot of downtime. I mean, luckily I have my teenager, and she does make it where, you know, I can at least, you know, step outside and take a walk and check out the view and take a few pictures or do something like that. And I know that they're not going to burn the house down while I'm out there. But you know, but I mean, at some point too, it's hard for me to even ask her for help because I feel guilty for asking her. She's 18 years old, you know. And I mean, and I know she always says that she doesn't mind, and they're her sisters. She does to help, but it does, like, it messes with me because it's like, I just want her to be able to be an 18-year-old. I just want her to be able to have fun in her life. You know, I don't want her to be worrying about if I'm stressing or if her sister's got, you know, whatever, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, it's hard. So, yeah, I mean, she came here.
Recognizes that, though. You know, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I thank God for her. Oh, yeah. I tell her all the time. She says she's still not sure what she wants to do with her life.
Young lady, so I don't know. Obviously, I don't know you guys personally, but I see you guys a lot online, so she's very well rounded.
I think most people feel like they know us personally because I know a lot of activists don't share their lives as much as we do. Yeah. And I try to, though. Like, I feel like a lot of activists, you get that few seconds every blue moon where they're actually at a rally or at an event, and I just don't like it being like that. Like, I want you guys to know me. I want you to know what I stand for, what I'm up to, hell, what I did yesterday. Like, I just feel like that. Like, I mean, it's kind of almost like vlogging, just in a different manner, because I want people to know I'm genuine, and I want people to understand. Yeah. I mean, I put some of the most hurtful, deep stuff that's happened in my life lately out there, because I don't want to be, I don't know, I feel like I have to be transparent. I feel like I have to do that. I've had so many people preach that to me in the past, and then seeing that they weren't, and it really bothered me, and it really hurt my feelings. So I don't ever want to be that person to somebody else.
You gain a rapport with somebody, you know, you're more likely to get through to them too as well, you know. So yeah. I mean, I started out not really putting my face out there. I kind of just made the profile, and now I just decided to go live one night and do my first live, and the next night I went live with Tia, and then now here I am with you. So now I'm just like I've got the bug. So now people are probably gonna get sick of hearing me and sick of seeing my face and be like, oh, this bitch, because I'm just gonna be out there now because I've popped my social media cherry, if you will. And now I'm out there, so.
Yeah, you can't go back, buddy. You can't go back.
Yeah, right.
It's crazy, though. It's so interesting to see. You see who are on your friends list is listening. Like, I've had people from the group home I was raised in, and I have no idea they're paying attention to me. And it's like, I'll say something off topic, and all of a sudden, oh, hey, Lynette, but you know how hard you worked to get where you are. Are you sure you want to share that with everybody? Or are you sure, coming with a relationship problem or whatever it may be, like I don't care. I was talking about writing my book, and one of the guys from the home that's known me since I was 4 years old said, you really have worked so hard to change your life from what, someone else tried to make it to what it is. Like, are you sure you want to expose yourself and all your wounds to the world? Like, someone may take that and try to use it against you. And I said, for that one or two people who may try to do that to me, there are so many people out there I think may draw hope from my story and inspiration and maybe find it through tomorrow for themselves that it's just not worth it to me to be quiet. And, and I mean, I think that there's, it's just a certain time where you feel like you got to do what's right. And, I'm working so hard trying to sit down and do, there's so many angles of what I'm up to in my life. And, trying to squeeze it all in and make sure I get everything done right. And, all these products we're doing to try to help the injured, that's something that, rain or shine, sick or whatever you got going on, you got to be processing the orders. You got to be doing this. You got to be doing that. Like, I mean, it's just, it's a lifestyle at this point. Activism literally is my lifestyle. So I don't own much clothes that aren't even activism anymore. Like, my child laughs. I mean, it's like every day is a different shirt that says something I'm trying to wake people up to or something. It's just the way it goes.
I'm slowly building my wardrobe into my activism shirts so I can get conversations started and stuff.
Well, guys, I haven't done much right this entire show today because it's just been one of those kind of days in my household. So we're going to go to a quick commercial break real quick because I'm already late because I was dealing with a poo-poo diaper. So we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we will be right back with Amber Smith after this, everybody. We'll be right back.
Join me, Chris Levels, the host of Politics and Prophecy on FreedomizerRadio.com. The show that seeks to educate instead of indoctrinate, enlighten those that seek knowledge and truth while exposing lawlessness and wickedness within our society. Monday through Thursday, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the time you can join me and my guest on FreedomizerRadio.com.
Get ready for the epic new documentary adventure ride of your life. Shade the motion picture. A view into the globalist domain and embellish Burma's film.
Nothing in this world works the way you think it does. Nothing. Governments do not operate the way you think they do. Banks do not do what you think they do. The police department is not here for what you think it is. Nothing in your world works the way you think it does.
We have to let them know that their world government has been identified, and they thought they'd include the world economy to bring in a worldwide police state, but instead it's
ShadeTheMotionPicture.com. You know the Constitution like the back of your hand. You've read books, listened to podcasts, attended lectures, surfed websites, and watched videos. You've made liberty your life's goal, but something seems to be missing. Stickers from LibertyStickers.com. Exercise your freedom of speech with the world's most dangerous bumper stickers. That's LibertyStickers.com. But wait, there's more. You can buy Liberty Stickers wholesale. Get them for 99 cents each when you put 100 or more in your shopping cart in any combination. Sell them or give them away. They're great for gun shows, flea markets, fairs, outreach, and more. Earn extra money, promote freedom, and spread the word. Need custom stickers, labels, or decals for your organization or business? Liberty Stickers makes them. Go to LibertyStickers.com to order or call 877-873-9626. LibertyStickers.com, the world's most dangerous stickers.
Vaccines are required for students, employees, immigrants, military members, and international travel. Do you know how to legally avoid them? This is vaccine rights attorney and Freedomizer radio host Alan Phillips. My vaccine exemption ebook can help you avoid the mistakes that have cost others their exemption rights. Get the authoritative guide to vaccine legal exemptions, an ebook available at freedomizerradio.com and vaccinerights.com.
Let freedom ring throughout the land.
You're an activist. You have a cause and an idea, but you also have lots of questions. You need help. After all, teams have coaches, corporations have consultants, and even politicians have campaign managers. But who do activists turn to? The Solutions Institute. We are a collection of professionals and activists from across the political spectrum. Our goal is to teach, motivate, and put all the necessary tools for activism in your hands without charge. Learn more or submit your project at solutions-institute.org.
All right, everybody, you are listening to Forsaken Generation Radio Show. I am your host, Lynette Marie Barron. Sorry the show has been so crazy today, but sometimes it's just the way that it goes. This is real life, so you just got to roll with the punches. I'm going to welcome back my guest today, Amber Smith.
Hiya.
All right, so we have been talking about a slew of all kinds of stuff, same as I probably do every week, because there's just so much to cover on this topic. It's never really fully covered, no matter how many times I do a show or how many people come on. I'm really hoping that we get some of Christopher Exley's science. That's right. I'm hoping we get some of Christopher Exley's science at the CDC coming up soon. I've heard a lot of people mention his name now, even in their public comment. So I'm really curious to see if anybody does anything with that, because we're kind of pretty much giving them names of these scientists around the world, and we're asking them to take a look. So, let's hope that actually does something. Let's hope that spurs something. I've noticed a lot of people seem very interested in that kind of stuff. So, so let's see here. So is there anything about your journey that we haven't covered yet that you want to cover? Because I want to make sure we cover everything. I don't want to leave anything out.
I don't know. I try to do as much as I can, like personally, in real life, I guess you could say. But Wisconsin's, I don't know, it seems a pretty lax state when it comes to vaccines. We have all 3 exemptions. I'm part of the coalition here in Wisconsin, but there's not really too much going on, so I try to do as much as I can, really. Just like I said, I just started going out and just randomly handing people cards and stuff like that. So I'm trying to do what I can. I am actually in the process of making a website. It's just going to pretty much be like a one-stop shop for parents that are new to the whole vaccine thing, and they don't have to go to 100 different websites to look for all these different studies. They can just go to the one website that's going to have, just a plethora of different studies on all the different vaccines and other things as well. Like I'm going to have stuff on chiropractic, MPH, FR gene, just a bunch of different stuff. started it about a month or so ago, so it's kind of a new process. And with having 2 young kids, it's kind of hard to get to, but it's something that I really want to do. So it's kind of a project.
That's pretty
of mine,
awesome.
So. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I know a lot of people are trying to still figure out what the MTHFR gene is, and a lot of people are still really just learning about that, and it is kind of confusing, but it seems like a lot of people in our community have this gene, or gene mutation. And so it's kind of trippy to me because, it makes you wonder.
They say
a lot of these things.
They say that upwards of like 40 or 50% of the population have some sort of variation of this gene, of the gene. So it's more prevalent than we think, but
yeah,
I'm just starting to get into it too. My son actually has one of the indicators, the sugar bug, the blue vein on his nose, and I noticed it from birth, and I asked my doctor, his pediatrician about it, and he was just like, oh, it's probably just from birth or whatever. It'll go away, and here he is, 3.5, almost 4 years old, and it's still prominent as ever. We haven't had them tested. My youngest, my youngest has the sacral dimple. We haven't had them tested, just because it's a whole another issue in itself, getting those genetic testings. But I'm pretty for certain that they would have it, just because they have those physical indicators, which isn't 100% obviously, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to, going to go out on a limb and say that they probably have some sort of variation. So,
yeah, I feel like mine may as well. Jazzy has the blue mark, and she's had a lot of different weird things since we've noticed since she was a baby. Even something odd with her was when she was, especially right after she was born, even her little hiney wasn't normal. And I remember thinking, like, this is odd. Like, she's my 5th kid. And so, of course, you notice interesting things. And I remember even taking a picture and showing the doctor, as weird as I felt having to do that, because, it was just not normal. And it was like, okay, so what's going on here? Oh, it's fine. She's just a little unique, whatever. It's, whatever. And, it's just, I've watched certain things with her, and I'm curious, like, her ears are very offset from each other. She wears sunglasses. You can tell, like, there's a major slant. And, her little head shape's a lot different than, we noticed it a lot more if they're in the tub together, because if, Lily and Jazzy are together next to each other, once her hair is wet, you can see, of course, the shape of her head. And Lily's got the normal, just regular round little head, and poor Jazzy's is just so misshapen. There's lumps that stick out in places there shouldn't be, and, it's just like, it's sad. When she was little, she couldn't even turn her head to one direction. She always had her head laying on the left side, so that the right side of her head is misshapen. And it's interesting. Yes, really, really bad. She could not turn, and
my second had that really bad.
Oh my goodness! We literally had to turn her entire swing to where she could see, because she would not be able to turn that direction, and she would favor it, like stay like that, even if you picked her up anything. And we ended up doing exercises with her.
Yeah,
and massaging her and doing all kinds of stuff.
To the chiropractor. At about 2 weeks old, and a couple times I went in there, and it finally just kind of popped out of place, and he's had that full range of motion. But yeah, he kind of has a little bit of the plagiocephaly, or I think it is what it is, the flatness on the side of his head, because he had a torticollis, so he was in the rock and play, which I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it out there, complete devil. Those things are so evil. They're so awesome, but they're evil. Because of that, he was in that, and he has, even still now, he hasn't even been in that thing in 4 or 5 months, and his poor little head is still misshapen. So,
yeah, well, she's had that problem since she was, she's had that problem since she was probably around, this started around 2 to 4 months old, and she turned 3 today, and it's still very noticeable. So, we rub it, we massage her head a lot, we massage her neck a lot. It just seems like that's just kind of the way it wants to be. And, it don't matter to me, girl. I look at my baby, and all I see is pure angel. So, It don't matter to me. I had somebody one time tell me that I only was saying that vaccines caused their autism because I didn't love my children enough and I couldn't accept them the way that they were born.
Ugh.
And that made me so angry. It's like, are you freaking kidding me? I don't love my children enough, and that's...
I feel like that's something that I've been seeing in, in the quote pro-vaccine world, that they'll assume that, the anti-vaxxers they hate people with autism or something like that. And it's like, because we're trying to abolish autism. And it's like, who ever said anything about hating children with autism? It's like, especially these parents that deal with children with autism. I mean, they know. I mean, they're in the trenches. That they're trying to save other parents and other children from having to experience life. You're
giving me goosebumps. That's how much I understand this, because that's why I do this. Because
I worked with autistic children when I was before it was even really autism. I mean, I was in 5th, 6th grade. I mean, this was in like the 90s. I worked with kids in, the one classroom that had like the 10 kids that had autism out of the 2,000 kids, which obviously we know the ratio is way higher now. And I actually, a few years back, I was actually doing in-home therapy with parents with and their children with autism. So I myself don't have, my children don't suffer from autism, thank God. But I am, I'm very aware of autism and, unfortunately the devastation that it does reap on families. So nobody's saying that they hate these poor children. They're just trying to save them, or, save other people from this horrible thing.
I've even been told off by other people with autism. Like, I was told off by adults with autism at one point. I was in some group that was supposed to be about supporting autism families. And I wasn't even the only one in there out of, like, a lot of our people. I saw a lot of our people in there, so I was really confused why no one came to my aid that day also.
Yeah.
But it was just mind-blowing to me, because this guy was just, he was ripping me a new one, or at least he thought he was, and he was just telling me how much your daughter's going to hate you if you make her do the gluten-free diet. Obviously, you don't care about what she needs and what she wants. It's all about what you think is best for her and her recovery. And, all of us adults out here with autism, we see you out here screaming it's because of the vaccines, and all that's doing is saying that something was wrong with us and saying we weren't born this way, and we were. And, like, it was just, so much going.
Their anger is just displaced. That's really all that it is. They have nowhere to place their anger, so it just shoots out at every angle. So and it's understandable. That's why I try I try to put myself in other people's shoes. So I try not to be so quick to react to people who are so judgmental, because that mom might have a child that is in the PICU because they have cancer and they're living in this hospital, and I can understand why she gets so angry and so passionate about the opposite side of what we're talking about, because I can understand it. I can't empathize, unfortunately, but I can sympathize. I can understand at least where her anger is coming from. So and it's, I think I see people on Facebook, and they'll say, like, they'll tag people and they'll say, oh, hey Jimmy, did you know that your autism was caused by vaccines? And they'll be on there and they're typing with their their perfect grammar and punctuation and all this stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, my autism isn't caused by vaccines and all this stuff. And it's like, you know what, I'm not going to doubt you that you have some sort of autism or you're on the spectrum, whatever, that's your life. But you need to think about the other side of the coin, that these children that don't have the ability, that are grown 15, 16-year-old kids that don't have the ability to be on Snapchat, to have the ability to be on Facebook, arguing whether or not vaccines cause autism, because they are so neurologically damaged.
That's right.
So it's just like it's just another thing, like what we were saying earlier about the arguments just being so irrelevant to the main point of the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
it totally
you
totally
get the same with. You get the same when people say you just want to blame somebody. You just want to blame somebody for what happened to your kid. And it makes me laugh. I'm like, I want to blame somebody? I don't have to look for who to blame. I know the doctor's name that gave me that Tdap when I was pregnant. I'm not looking for the man to blame him. I already know who to blame. You know, it's like I know how this goes. And I mean, I remember asking him. I had no idea anything was wrong with it. I just remember asking him, are you sure I should get this while I'm pregnant? And he was like, well, you can get it or you can get tetanus and your baby will die in the womb. And it was like, well, okay, you're the doctor. You know, same as we're conditioned to say, you know, you're the doctor. I better listen.
Because they got that degree.
I was sick from that day on. Yeah, and I mean, it was horrible. I was sick from that day on. I was vomiting to the point I couldn't even make it to the bathroom in the morning. And I'd be sitting there vomiting in the toilet, peeing on the floor, because you already know when you're pregnant if you're going to throw up, pee's coming out. And, you know, it's like, it's happening. This is the way it's going. Yeah, it's happening.
You know.
Yep, there is no control.
So, yeah.
Oh, my God. I'm telling you, I'd be back in the day, I swear, I'd be throwing up, and my husband would come running in, throwing a towel up underneath me because pee was coming out.
Man.
It's like, it's going to be okay. And, I mean, it was like, man, I never had it like... Yeah, and I never had it like that before. I was throwing up to the point I had like these weird polka dots all over my face, my chest from all the heaving. And I mean, it was horrible. And I remember thinking, like, what is wrong with me? Like, why am I so sick all of a sudden? Didn't even think about that damn shot, girl. Didn't think about it. Finally,
eliminate all that stuff.
Yeah. Then they talked me into having.
It's already got a parasite in there. I mean, I hate to call babies
it's sad because they trick us.
You know.
They trick us into being on their schedule when we have our kids, too. And that doctor told me we need to go ahead and induce you, be here at 3 o'clock in the morning, we'll get everything rolling, get my Pitocin going. I'm telling you, nobody's around whenever I finally feel the need to push. I'm hitting the button, there's nobody. Finally, they come in there, and she's trying to put her gown on, and she says, give me a practice push. I try to push, and she's like, whoa, no, stop, I'm not ready yet. That baby's coming out. And so, you know, they get my baby, and she seemed normal. She seemed fine. And, I mean, she was tiny. Both of them were. Both of my girls who actually are vaccine injured were both tiny babies compared to my other kids. And it was interesting because I'd never had a small, like, 5-pounder, you know. I mean, they were little. And I remember them saying, well, for some reason yeah, and the doctor told me for some reason it didn't seem like she was getting what she needed in there anymore. And I'm thinking, yeah, I just got that, you know, this puppy full of this stuff. I mean, you never know. But then still, I mean, it hadn't hit me fully. And then, you know, Lily got her vaccine injury 2 weeks after I had that shot. Lily got her 15-month shot, which is what injured her and caused her neutropenia. And so when that happened, in my mind, I was scared to death, Amber. In my mind, it was like, oh, my God, I just had a Tdap 2 weeks ago, and this is doing this to you, and you're not even a developing baby. Like, my mind I was scared to death.
Yeah,
because I had just seen Russell L. Blaylock. Yeah, just found Russell L. Blaylock on YouTube. You know, first person I'd seen talk about vaccines and brain damage, and I was bawling. I was like, oh, my God, dear God, please let my baby be okay. And so, you know, as she started developing, you know, we hit 2 months, 4 months, all that kind of stuff. She's not doing anything, not rolling over, I mean, she would draw her arms up and do weird things with her arms and legs. Even when she was born, she was doing that. But she wouldn't, you know, there was no real, like, milestones ever. And so when we hit 18 months old, she still wasn't really able to walk right. So it was like, okay.
My oldest definitely was late on his milestones. He didn't even sit up on his own until he was, like, after 9 months old. I mean,
that was her
and my son now vaccine free. I mean, he started crawling when he was like 6 months old. So, you know, and my oldest.
You see, the difference is crazy.
After 9 months old.
Yeah.
And that was only one round of vaccines. You know what I mean?
Yep. She's only been vaccinated technically through 4 months old. And the 4 months was behind my back while I was dealing with Lily, trying to get her CBC done with the doctor while the nurses did jazzies behind my back. And so for her, she's only been vaccinated through 4 months old. And it was horrible, let me tell you. She ended up with intussusception twice thanks to the rotavirus vaccine. That's some kind of hell I never wish on anybody. It was horrible. This poor child's gut has been ripped to hell and back by all these dang vaccines. And rotavirus vaccine is something, there's no purpose for that vaccine in America. There's no cause for it. I mean, a third world country maybe, where something like diarrhea, dehydration is going to be putting you in your grave. You know, maybe you should consider the rotavirus vaccine, you know, if that's your thing. I don't recommend any vaccination because I know what's in them. But, you know, if you've studied it and you decide you want it, that's your choice. But I don't believe anybody should be putting that on a schedule as a recommended thing. And they play with that word, Amber. They play with the word recommended like nobody's business.
Amen. Dude, my husband and I, both of us, we got I don't know if it was technically rotavirus or whatever, but we got sick off of my son's his poop, because you know it sheds through the fecal matter, that rotavirus. And I mean, excuse my language, but we were shitting for, oh man, it was bad for all three of us.
Oh my gosh.
I was worried about interception because before I started having the whole thoughts about vaccines, but when I was Googling, you know, what's going on with my kid, I saw that interception, and I was like, oh, the rotavirus, you know, so I thought about it. I inquired with a pediatrician, and of course it was, you know, of course it's not that, of course it's not a vaccine, you know, whatever. But,
you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
The pediatrician we were using at that point, I was kind of floored by her because, you know, she knew she had done wrong when they gave it to her at 4 months again, because at 2 months when we went in, I said, look, ever since y'all gave her those round of vaccines the other day, she's been screaming bloody murder. She's got blood in her poop. She's got mucus in her poop. Like, I don't know what's going on. Y'all do something. So they had me bring a stool sample up 3 days in a row. And all 3 days, they kept saying, well, you're right. There's definitely blood in it, and you're right this, and you're right. And so finally, like by day 4, I'm like, look, this isn't doing me any good. Everything I'm reading says that there's blood in here. We should be at the hospital. And she goes, you know what? Okay, well, she did just have the rotavirus vaccine. And she goes, let me get a second opinion from another doctor in the practice. So she sends me over to this dude. And he says, well, I'm more on the natural side of things. So what happened to her? So I explained how she's been, what's going on. She wouldn't quit screaming, blood and, you know, mucus, all these things. And he says, oh, my God, I think she has interception from the rotavirus vaccine. Okay, listen, this is an emergency. If you're not going to be able to get a ride to the hospital, can you drive there? If you're not going to be able to get there, we'll call an ambulance. You need to get her to the hospital now. And he's like in full-blown panic.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the hell? So then he chases me out to the car with a piece of paper and says, well, maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it's the goat milk you're giving her. How long have you been giving her goat milk? The doctor just told me you give her goat milk, and you know that all that is saline water. And so I'm like, what? And so,
trying to place the blame
of course I knew
right?
that. Yes. So, of course, I knew that wasn't what it was. Took her to Children's. Turns out to be an interception. They say she's never to have that vaccine again.
Baby.
I'm just, you know, waking up to all these things, learning that. And then they give it to her again behind the back at 4 months. And I was so angry. I've never been more angry in my life because guess what? It happened again. We started all over again.
Let me tell you.
And that is so rare for it to happen. It's rare to happen once. It really is for an interception, but it's super rare for it to happen twice. And so we were, my husband at that point came flying up there like he was irate, I was irate, and nobody wanted to help us. It was like, we won't write down that we gave her anything today. We won't charge y'all, like this and that. I'm like, it ain't about that. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm so angry.
We won't charge you.
And you can't call the, and you can't call the police because they'd just be on their side. If you really think about it, look at me. And, you know, it'd be like, let's call CPS. We've got a crazy lady up here. I mean, I mean, that's how it feels. I mean, you can't do anything.
I don't know if you just saw one of the latest, like, I guess it's medical kidnapping. I think it was out of Phoenix with a 15-year-old autistic boy, and his mom was being removed from the room. Did you see that? Did you see the live videos that Irene posted before she took him down? The police were just they were just like, oh, you know, and she was just like, dude, they're like, my son is, you know, they're trying to, you know, do all this stuff to him without my consent, and they're just like, oh, we're just doing our jobs and and it's just like no sympathy, not even just like, ma'am, I'm with you, I totally understand, not even a shred of humanity towards this woman.
And I'm,
like, get out.
And I'm telling you, this is like, we are in a scary time, Amber, because police look at these people with autism, especially these older men, and they don't know what autism is, and they don't know how to deal with it. I saw an autistic man get shot from behind and murdered.
Forever, though. But autism has been around forever.
Laying there, choked to death. He laid there and choked to death in his own blood. They didn't even flip him over until he was done choking to death. and took his earbuds out, and they were sitting there making jokes, and the footage finally surfaced. Turns out it was a full, severe autistic adult who had ended up getting out of a facility he was supposed to be at, that his parents had him in, and he had just went into a gas station confused so the gas station clerks called the cops, and when he didn't respond and turned back to the cop shot him in the head.
Oh.
I mean,
really?
it was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Yes, shot him in the head because he wouldn't turn around. No crap, because he wouldn't turn around and listen.
No.
Yep, and then laid there while the guy laid there bleeding out and choking to death, and just sat there like making jokes with the other officer until he was dead. And dude was really, his face, he was down. His face was in his own pool of blood, and that's what he was choking in.
So
and they
sad.
were just sitting
and
there like nothing. Yes.
The autistic kids at school. I saw a video recently of a child, probably under 10, had to have been, I think, and the police have them in handcuffs, and just because, I mean, they need to. Autism, I don't care what anybody says. Okay, it's an epidemic. It is so prevalent that they seriously need to train the authorities on how to handle these people with autism. And I get it.
Yeah.
That yes, and being in-home therapist, I have seen how very violent these kids can get because they're thrashing, because they're in pain, they're upset, whatever it may be. But they do. So I can understand the aspect that the officer may feel that their safety may be in danger. But okay, really, this is a child. Like the full-grown man, I mean, is one thing, but especially the children. I mean, this is a child. Okay, they need to start teaching our authorities how to come at this from a different sort of angle and have a different protocol on how to go about these situations rather than just to do them like it would be any other stuff. You know what I mean? Because when you're freaking them out even more by, coming at them and just grabbing them and it's just, I don't know. I thought that I may have come across a situation like this recently, and I wasn't sure what was really going on, so I was afraid to really stop, but I kept my eye on the situation for a while. I was going past a local gas station, and there was this gentleman who you could definitely tell had some sort of disability, and he was sitting in front of the gas pump in a like a beach chair kind of thing, and the cops were all standing there around him. Yeah, but the cops were standing around him like they didn't know what to do with him. They didn't know how to handle him. They weren't sure what to do. And they were just kind of standing around, and they were just staring at the guy. I mean, he had a crazy hat on, kind of weird outfit. Like, you could tell he wasn't all there. You never know, because he could be on drugs. So, I mean, there's that situation. But still, obviously.
I was so worried that he was someone, kind of like the other situations, who just wasn't, where he needed to be or something. And I was so worried about it. We sat there watching for a while, just waiting to see if more police showed up or what they were going to do, because he wasn't doing anything wrong. He had just gotten the lawn chair out and was sitting in front of the gas station in front of the pump thing. And so, I mean, it was just such an interesting, odd situation. And I have no idea what really came of it. I just saw more police that eventually showed up. And then, you could tell they were trying to coax him to do something they wanted. But, it's just, you see so many things going on around, and I'm always so scared of that. Like, you just never know, and they really don't know how to handle it. And I'm right there with you on that, how they say they've always been here. Ask the police officers, ask the school teachers, and ask the doctors if they want to tell the truth. Like, it's just not true. It's not so. I think it was Mark Blacksville who said it was like 900 and something billion people would have to be missing. That we all of a sudden just missed somehow in the population with autism if the stats were correct by Pan's calculations.
Yeah, it's just like where are all of these convalescent homes with all of these people with autism? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, there's other neurological issues that are there, like Alzheimer's and dementia and things like that, but you don't really see that prevalency of like autism in in senior citizens in their community.
Why? Yep.
Oh, the diagnosis.
And you
changed.
know why?
It's like, okay, well, I don't see any period.
It's because We're only giving the seniors a flu shot and sometimes a pneumonia shot here and there, and they don't need those either by far. But you see the dimension of things. They will be steadily increasing very soon, and I believe actually we've even been looking at those kind of things because as vaccines are increasing in these younger populations, now think about this. You've got the vaccine into boy and you've got the vaccine into girl. They grow up, they make babies. You know what I'm saying? So you've got this, a lot of these things that are being mutated and things that are happening are being continued. That's right, and it keeps adding together and making these issues. I'm still curious for my girls if it's not something, why the vaccines were so bad for my kids, because my husband and I both had different issues as kids, some of which I'm sure followed vaccination, and we just don't think about it, don't know about it back then. I don't know when HPV Gardasil first came on the market, but I know when I was a teenage girl, I went through something that can only be described as insane. They really thought that they thought, well, first they thought I was active and thought I was having a miscarriage, but I wasn't. And, I mean, I had never even, had never been active, so I knew that wasn't it. And, I mean, I couldn't stop bleeding for anything. I'm 24/7 around the clock. And, finally they said, well, maybe it's stress. Maybe it's stress that's what it is. And, I mean, being in the home and things like that, maybe it was, things like that. And it was like, no, that's not it either. Like they kept digging for things, trying to figure out what the issues were. And nobody really ever figured it out. And then I look back and I think about the fact that was right around the same time I went through my last high school physical to get back, to go for my last year of high school. And so right after that I was so sick I ended up dropping out of high school, not even kidding. And so, it's just kind of crazy to me looking back, like, you really just don't know.
You look back at it now and you're like, oh, you can see, you make all these correlations. Yeah. And I don't care what anybody says. Correlation can equal causation. When there's enough correlation, it equals causation. I'm sorry. And I hate when these people use this example like, whatever, Timmy got his DTaP and then later on he got hit by a bus and died. Oh, it must have been the vaccine. That is like the worst correlation equals causation example I've ever heard in my life. Like that literally is not even an example of, that's not the description of correlation. So it's just like, it frustrates me, when so many people can just deny all this correlation. Say that
y'all can tell I'm an autism mom because I'm talking on the radio show with you as I clean poo-poo off of my baby. Again, from about every direction this time. I'm telling you, she has those days where it's just all day long, and if she makes it to it before I do, we've got a problem.
The struggle is real.
Lily, I know, you can hear Lily in the background. Mom, there's poop on the floor. Thank you, Lily. You're such a good helper. I'm telling you, they wear you out for sure. We were up late last night doing having a little party for Jazzy and doing our makeup and all that kind of stuff. And then got up today with everybody not feeling good, and it's just been a wild day so far.
Yeah, my 7-month-old doesn't, or he's 8 months today. Well, he's still not sleeping. Well, not sleeping through the night. You really expect an infant to sleep through the night, but you know what I mean. He's not sleeping very long intervals at night, so mommy is not sleeping, and my oldest does not nap anymore. So I get, there's no rest for the wake up.
Yeah, that is exactly how it is too. I get it. Believe me, that's like, this Jazzy will be up until sometimes. I know, right? You can sleep when you're dead. That's how they make coffee. Yeah. Well, and it's sad. Like Jazzy, this kid, I don't know how she keeps going like she does. Autism really is an interesting thing. She can sit here and be up all day long and then still stay up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes when the sun comes up.
Something.
Yes, and then finally she'll crash and then she'll still get up by. Yes, baby, I can block the sunshine. Mom, can you block the sunshine? Sure, baby. Whatever I can do to help. Right. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, everybody's just kind of feeling like crap today. I'm sad. I wanted to take them to do something for Jasmine's birthday, but nobody's really feeling that good. So Don't think everybody's going to get to have much fun today.
It really is a case of the Mondays, right?
No crap. I know it. And then, you know, I'm trying really hard, girl. I really am. It's just like
That's
you know,
all you can do.
Put yourself out there. Do as much as you can and hope for the best, and don't spread yourself too thin. I think that's where some people in this,
you don't want to put too many
thin.
expectations on yourself, especially as a mother, because you just got to fly by the seat of your pants, because
Yep.
Kids are going to
Every
be
day
kids.
is different.
It's really hard to put them on a schedule, especially young ones.
Yep, I am going to agree with you there. Mine are insane. Well, Amber, it has been amazing having you on with me today. Thank you so much for everything you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, and if you end up needing my platform for anything, you just holler at me, let me know. And, if you're ever going to be able to make it to one of these ASIPs or something like that, girl, let me know. I can't wait to meet you and see you.
Oh, man, like I said, I'm trying for February, so fingers crossed. So, and thank you
we've
for
got
everything
a lot of
that you
people
do.
who are thinking
Seriously,
that.
keep it up, because you're amazing.
Well, thank
so don't
you.
ever forget that.
Well, thank you, girl. I appreciate it. Believe me, it's nice to hear it. It keeps you going.
We'll always remember that.
I'll be keeping up with you and talking to you soon, because, honestly, I appreciate you and everything you're up to for real, and I like to stay close to like-minded people. So you and I, I'm sure, will be talking a lot more as the future comes along. And I'm have to enlighten you on my big plans I've got in my head and see what you think. But I love you, my friend, and thank you so much for doing the show today. And if you guys want to reach out to Amber, I love you, my friend, too. Lily said she loves you too. If you guys want to be able to reach Amber, you guys can find her on Facebook.
Everything I share is public. So Amber Smith, I have a weird Facebook profile picture. You can't miss me.
Yeah, I like that one. I have a friend from Australia with that same picture. I was like, okay, that's neat. I like that one.
I'm gonna leave it. Who wants to see my mug anyways? I'm gonna leave it, because inquiring minds want to know. So they'll be like, oh, who is this? And they'll click on it, and then they'll see.
Yeah,
boom.
That's true. That's
another
true.
customer.
I think that's true too. I do that a lot. If I see people with the weird profile pictures, I'm like, let me see what you look like.
Yeah, you're just curious. So then you bring them on over. So they're like, oh, what's this whole vaccine thing about? Oh, really? I did not know. So there it is.
Yep, I love it.
Well, I hope you guys
it's been
feel
amazing
better.
to have you, friend.
So,
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
I hope you guys feel better over there.
We'll be all right. Thank you. I think once I get off of here and I can tend to them a little bit better, they'll be happier babies. So I will talk to you soon, my friend. You have an amazing Monday.
Right. Yes, you too. Talk to you soon. Bye.
All right, bye. All right, everybody. This has been another show from Forsaken Generation Radio Show. Which is really sad. It's been a hard day over here, so I'm sorry if I've sounded like a chicken with my head cut off today, but that's literally the way I felt. Poor Lalan's still sick in the background. Lily's not feeling good. Jazzy's running around, ripping her clothes off, pooping everywhere. It's just been one of those kind of days. So y'all pray for us, and keep on keeping on. Keep treating each other right. Keep the drama keep it to yourself. And y'all have an amazing week. I can't wait to talk to y'all next Monday. Hold on 1 second. Okay, see? This isn't a fun life, guys.